Checkered flag, P5. That's the end of the session, P5. Okay, Craig, we've got 2 laps to get the job done, mate. The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 20 Celsius. Watch the track limits, please, Craig. The leader has just done a 113.3. The leader's just done a 112.2. The leader has just done a 111.5. The leader has just done a 111.2. P5.
Alright, there's a checkered flag. The guy wants. And just as you go, Josh, as soon as you have more information with regards to the OWN, feel free to flick me an inbox, and because I'm interested to see where we're going to go. I'm hoping iRacing have Adelaide on deck before December 14. That's all I'm hoping for.
Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't think
I
will.
think that's a logical choice. You know, I just think that's the logical choice.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Probably.
If you're going to throw them in the deep end, throw them in the deep end. Throw them in very deep. Mr. Bond, to what do we owe the pleasure?
Evening.
Hello. How are you?
Good yourself. You cool if I just
good.
chill in here for the race?
You can chill in there, absolutely. Just mute yourself. If there's a lull patch and I can drag you in and get you to talk us through a hot lap, I will.
I've no
Actually, where the fuck is everyone tonight? 11 for Barber. Seriously? 11 for Barber? Barber's one of the great IndyCar circuits.
It is.
Bondi might get a podium.
Oh no, I'll probably end up quitting halfway through if I get bored.
No.
I'm in one of
We'll try and keep you amused, mate. Don't worry.
Alrighty, boys. I'll leave you with it anyways. You have a great night.
You look after yourself, mate. Stay healthy. Go well.
Thanks, Josh.
We're just in that enviable. We're in an enviable sort of position at the moment because unlike copy. There it is. Yeah, actually, we did cut that a little bit late, didn't we, Joe? Because the reality of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, right? When we look at everything that's going on, at least we're going to get a race. At least we're going to get a race tonight. At least it's drier than Adelaide at Barber Motorsport Park.
It is, definitely.
Wouldn't be fucking hard. That's what Adelaide thinks if you're trying to reinvent the wheel and be NASCAR.
Yeah, I agree. I think that sort of stuff's crap.
It's a fucking wank, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah. It's not fucking stick and ball sports.
No.
What about
End of story.
What about the podium thing now? That cool down ring.
I didn't see it.
Style.
No, okay. Yeah,
Haven't seen it.
I was busy whilst the race was on, Bondi. I went and did all my Black Friday shopping, mate. Holy shit! Have I spent a fortune?
30 seconds.
Copy.
We're gonna have to be quick. We'll get straight on to the championship spreadsheet, and then, or do you just want to go straight to?
Go the championship spreadsheet. Go the track map. Go the grid.
Right.
I can squeeze it all in. I'll just talk rapid fire. Here we go, boys. Standing by.
4, 3, 2, go.
The final night of on-track activity for the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club in the 9th and penultimate week of Term 4 of 2025. And it's an open wheel night for us here. We're done away with the tin tops until Monday night. We go open wheel racing tonight, and we do it at one of the great open wheel racing circuits in the United States. We're at Barber Motorsport Park in Birmingham, Alabama, for the 9th round of the Disruptive Labs Indy NXT Series. Good evening, everybody. Zach Cabe and Joe Baldwin. Good to be back in the booth on a Friday night here. Thanks to Tyson Broad for keeping the seat warm last week. Craig Bond's also in here, ladies and gentlemen. The boy from Gundagai might take us for a hot lap a little bit later on if we're lucky. There's the lay of the land for you as time elapses on qualifying. Very small field tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little bit disappointed about that. Only 11 by the looks of it lining up here, and 3 of them haven't even bothered qualifying, so it could be a very long slog for Joe and I over the next short while. 2 o'clock in the afternoon server time, 25 kilometre an hour winds. They're strong in a mostly westerly direction, west to southwest indeed. 20 degrees the ambient, 22 on track, partly cloudy conditions, but so far it's dry. At least we can say it's dry in Alabama and not Adelaide today. If you're wondering what's happened to the cricket on your television screens tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the doubleheader of the WBBL. First one washed out without a ball being bowled. Second one heading in a very similar direction. Grid will be coming your way in just a moment. There's the championship points. Stephen Bull on top of it tonight by 26 points over Adam Lavis, 241 for Luke Brooker, and then Matt Schmidtke in a dogfight there for third in the points race, but it's not helped by the fact that Schmidtke hasn't turned up tonight and Brooker has. And Schmidtke doesn't have a drop round to fall back on. Martin Davis, 229. Can't see him either. Then Paul Rogers, Jackson Ray, Hannah, Edward Rollo, Lachlan Capel, and Nathan Michael, the top 10. Struggle to get the numbers on a Friday night, but the grid looks like this. We're going for quality over quantity. And yes, from what I'm reliably informed, Johnny, I wasn't here as you know, but I'm hoping you're right. Aiden Luthwaite, Stephen Ball, front row, Paul Rogers, Adam Laver, second row, the boy from Gundagai on the third row alongside Nathan Michael, Luke Brooker and Edward Rollo from row 4, Greg Heaney and Jeff Adams from 5. But Heaney's on the grid, Adams and Smith are not. Good evening to you, Joe Baldwin, about to take off behind the safety car here. We're worried about whether we get the intro in time or not. We've been able to do that. Looking forward to seeing what unfolds.
The air temp is 20. All right, Greg,
42
that should be okay.
We're aiming for around P5. It might be a little bit more than that.
P5.
48 we've gone up to, okay.
Rolling start, get ready.
Whatever
Car
happens
number
first
110
is the way this
in the
works,
left
ladies and
column.
gentlemen. There will be a competition caution at some point. We might need that to keep things lively. But good evening to you. Aiden Luthwaite, Stephen Bull, that'll be a good battle. A couple of these guys can sum up their position in the championship tonight, but at least with Stephen Bull and Adam Lavis, it looks like it will go to Indianapolis next week, which is more than we can say for a few of our championships already so far this week, a few of them being wrapped up, securing a dead rubber for next week.
Get ready, going green.
Yeah, look, hey, what a place to go there as your penultimate race. Barwon Motorsports Park, it's one of the great tracks. I love this place. It's great in a supercar, Skippy, bees, you name it. This place puts on a great event with just about everything as we go into the green.
Yep, no mucking around from Aiden Luthwaite. Saw green, hit the gas and got going. Leads the field to turn 1. Good to see him back in Whiskey Business colours.
Car right.
Through we go. Although I say Whiskey Business colours now, at least. We'll come back to that. Stephen Bull tucks in the second spot. Paul Rogers, Adam Lavis. Great climb up on the inside and forceful already on Adam Lavis, but he tucks out of it for the moment. And up on his outside is Nathan Michael. 2x2 late go to turn 5. Bondi's in here tonight. He's on mute at the moment, so it'll be good because we can egg him on as this race plays out. And the interesting thing with all of that is he's right behind your teammate Adam Lavis at the moment, Joe Baldwin, and of course he's my teammate on a Monday night here. So our allegiances are tied at the moment. There's no doubt about that. Only a field of 9, so it's going to be a tough old slog. Good to tell you that the Matildas are in action tonight, so we will update you on that as we go. As we get information in from Gosford, that game should already be at half-time. In fact, I haven't even got the score up on screen in front of me right now. There'll be some NBL to go around the grounds with some A-League as well, and hopefully some news from the Adelaide Oval with regards to some cricket before too long. They've already abandoned the Speedway. Action on the Adelaide Parkland circuit has been very much compromised throughout the course of the afternoon. This match between the Adelaide Strikers and the Sydney Thunder yet to get underway, and the Brisbane Heat Sydney Sixers match was a washout without a ball being bowled before that. So unfortunately, yes, Adelaide the epicentre of sport at the moment, but it helps if it's dry. There's Aiden Luthwaite under pressure from Stephen Bull already. It'd be interesting to see what they do here, Joe. I mean, as you say, 48 laps the Shedwood distance here, 1 minute 15 the lap times. So let's crunch the numbers there. That actually works, doesn't it? 1 minute 15 times 2 is 2:30, 2 is 5, and 2 is 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Dig in, don't wait. 8 times 6 is 48. There's your hour, plus your pit stop and your caution will come into that, but we should be okay. I did see 42 on the graphic last night and the night before from Schmitty for some reason, so that might have been a typo, but at least we're up and away. Aidan Luthwaite has Stephen Ball for company. You've picked up Nathan Michael there in 6th spot. He's a second behind Craig Bond. 2 distinct battle packs at the moment. You've got Michael being pursued by Brooker, Rollo and Heaney. And I dread to think what the field would be like without the presence of Whiskey Business Racing tonight. They've got a third of the complement tonight, Joe. That says a lot.
They do, yeah. Look, they're Greg Heaney runs a pretty good ship with them guys. He's got a great bunch of guys in and around there. Like they're always welcoming the even non-team members. We jump in the chat there and have a bit of banter with them, and yeah, good bunch of guys. So yeah, you know, you get good people around you, you get good results, and Aidan dips out there for a minute. I don't know whether that's mine or Aidan's. No, he's back.
On your right. Right side's clear.
Yeah, you always worry when there's a blinky bill moment, don't you?
Yeah, especially when it's on my end. So, but I'm not showing any missed frames on my end. So it's obviously something Aidan needs to feed his hamster maybe. But yeah, no, look, Greg has a great team of guys there. So yeah, good to see they've got Aidan back if that is the case, and putting the best foot forward for the yellow and blue.
Here I was saying that we might have some NBL basketball to talk about, but no, they're on a weekend off as well, so absolutely no basketball to fill in on. The cricket's ruined by the rain. We'll just focus on going around the grounds with football updates.
Okay, Craig, just keep hitting your marks. This is looking good.
Formula 1 Grand Prix. And of course, sprint Sunday morning, qualifying Sunday morning, race Monday morning. Very early start for those of you on the eastern seaboard, even earlier for those of you that don't know how to observe summer. Hello Queensland, nice to have you on board on a Friday night. Hey, actually that might have to be a record. That might be the earliest I've got a jab at them this week. 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Lunch. Yeah, I know. 4 minutes and 10 seconds into the race, and I'm already up and for the rent. Can I just say, I hope everybody enjoyed their week, and I hope everybody enjoyed the Black Friday sales. Everything. Oh, trouble! Stephen Bull's in trouble! Paul Rogers as well! Bull's being tripped up by the notorious chicane at the end of the back straight. They got out of 5, they were on the run up towards that 7, 8, 9 down there. This is how it happened. He was chasing Aidan Luthwaite. He's going to get the curb here, is he? No, he's got railroaded. Bang, no. See you later. So Bond the beneficiary of that, Lavis the beneficiary of that, Edward Rollo's leapfrog Nathan Michael as well, Stephen Bull and Paul Rogers right now down at the bottom of the battle pack in 8th and 9th, and it's interesting, Joe, because that does have championship implications. Jeez, how well did Adam do to miss that? Craig went to the outside, took to the grass. Oh my goodness. The unfortunate reality of that is it has completely spread the field out. So any hope we had of a battle pack forming anytime soon, unless it's teammates, is very much null and void. There's Luke Brooker. Actually, I need to get some confirmation there, because is it just me, or does Luke Brooker look distinctly like he's in Whiskey Business Racing colours, but not in the right livery?
I think
the vibe you're getting?
It's just a very, very similar blue and yellow livery, because look, blue and yellow looks good on everything. Always
trouble.
There, Nathan Michael just ran wide off track. That was a bit of an airy moment for him. So he's trying to get up around the outsides, trying to go deep, but just hasn't arrested the speed. Off out through. There'll be a big slowdown attached to that one.
Yeah. And not just that, but there's another slowdown, and that is that he's got to scrub the dirt, the grass off the tyres now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you take a big hit for.
Bondi's gone! Coming onto the main straight. Big slide, big lose. Bondi. Oh, let's hope they miss him. Yes, they do. I tell you what, the first car that was coming onto that was Edward Rollo. He very nearly went straight into the youngster. Bondi now drops down to 7th, 8th spot behind Stephen Bull ahead of Paul Rogers, and just the rear end. How many times have we seen it, Joe? Unfortunately, that's been the tail of the tape for Bondi's season. He lost the rear end in Iowa. I think he also lost the rear end in Illinois as well. And then third time's a charm, unfortunately.
Yeah, looked to me, he'll confirm it, I'm sure he's listening. Looked to me like he might have just snicked the inside curb with the left front. As we see, Paul Rogers has got a 10-second penalty for his incident with Stephen Bull. Yeah,
That's
look,
fair.
I might have just touched that inside curb, got the car unbalanced, and it's just pogoed the slightest little bit, and away he goes.
That has championship implications. Oh, Adam's gone to the front. Adam Lavis to the front on Aiden Luthwaite. Now, when did this happen, more to the point? Adam Lavis has gone to the front on the previous race leader, Aiden Luthwaite, and Lavis leads in Alabama. And this is important. I'll come back to why in a moment. Let's have a look. Luthwaite has... Oh, he's just letting through.
Gap to E9 behind is increasing. It's now 2.8.
21, but they're not teammates. What's going on here? Is there a bit of gamesmanship going on from Aiden Luthwaite?
He may have picked up a slowdown or something, maybe?
Well, no, I'm going to go with gamesmanship. Right? Hear me out.
Okay,
Bobby's
Craig,
just
you're
unmuting
reeling
himself to get
P7
his tail on the
in.
table
The
in just a
gap's
moment.
now
But
2.8
let's have a look
seconds.
at the numbers here, Joe. Right? Stephen Ball 304, Adam Lavis 278. Stephen Ball currently showing in 7th. Adam Lavis currently showing in 1st. You'll be able to tell me what the difference between 1st and 7th is at the end of the race when it comes up on our screen. I know it's 60 points for the win. So there's big gaps. And given that it's 26 points, Stephen Ball doesn't have a drop round to fall back on. Adam Lavis does. He has 36 and a 33 up his sleeve. So this is game back on in the championship. It's only 26 points the margin at the moment. But if Adam can secure a big win here, game on, going to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course next week. Stephen Ball is currently 7th. Now, we're not ruling him out. Not in the slightest, because there'll be a competition caution. He'll get back onto the rear of the pack, and he'll push his way through the field. We know how he operates. We know he's a gun steerer.
Used half
We
your
know
fuel.
he's a fast
25
driver and
points
operator. Yeah, okay,
You've
so
just done
that's the tail. That's the
113.1.
turn.
Good luck.
That's
That's
26
your
points
quickest
the
today.
difference in the championship. That would tighten right up. So I reckon Adam Lavis, because they do hang out from time to time in the same Discord, do the Aussie races and Whiskey Business Racing competitors. There might have been a little bit of chatter there. Aiden Luthwaite's not in championship contention, but he can help Adam Lavis try and win this title. And Lavis is going on with it at the moment. Nathan Michaels just got by Luke Brooker as well. To 4th he goes. Brooker back to 5th, Healy back to 6th. Oh, straight across the grass and goal, and that was Luke Brooker.
Looks like
And
it's
Nathan Michael too. So Michael, a second excursion onto the
red yellow
grass.
flag, debris on the track.
Brooker was untidy through there as well, but he got away with it. And now Nathan Michael drops behind Stephen Ball, so that doesn't help out Adam Lavis. Falls back up into 6th. Bondi sits down there behind Nathan Michael. Now he'll be the next problem for Michael to contend with. Paul Rogers.
Same spot.
Yep, same spot, exactly the same again.
Deeper.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'll leave
last
that
time he
one
wasn't
there.
off. Last time he
No,
wasn't off
don't
the road. That's right. Yeah, correct. Last time he wasn't off the road. This time buried in the gravel and did well to get back out. But let's have a look at the analytics of it, right? Paul Rogers, 223. He's on the grid. Martin Davis, Matt Schmidtke are not. Luke Brooker is only 18 points up the road from him. Now, at the moment, Rogers lost 6 spots early on because of that incident, and he's also got a 10-second invoice coming his way. So his night's essentially done in terms of being in any sort of contention. That works into the lap of Martin Davis, Matt Schmidtke, who aren't here tonight and trying to keep him at bay, and also Luke Brooker and trying to consolidate 3rd in this title race. At the moment, he can't catch Adam Lavis because Adam's ahead of him, right?
Only you can hear me. They are in the Discord together.
Copy that, Joe. Thank you. I'm just getting confirmation through that they are in Discord together, this pair. Although Aiden's all of a sudden latched back on.
8th place.
So my gut instinct on that one was right. It's nice to know that even though I've been out and about all day running around chasing my tail like a headless chook, and I'll explain why a little bit later on, the reality of the matter is I can still think analytically at 8:59 Eastern Daylight Time on a Friday night. There is Adam Lavis. We're on button 10 already. 1 minute 12.351 for Aiden Luthwaite. Yeah, okay. Shots fired, return serve. Now it's a question of when Adam Lavis wants to let him go. This is exciting though, Joe, because I mean Paul Rogers had a chance to jump up the order tonight. He's done himself no favours with that early invoice to Stephen Ball. Stephen Ball has a 26-point lead on Adam Lavis. This is going to go down to the grand finale. Luke Brooker could well go a long way to helping himself consolidate 3rd in the title tonight. Matt Schmidt doesn't have a drop round to fall back on. Martin Davis is going to get 22 points, so he's going to leave here with 251, but he's not going to have a drop round to play with when we go to Indianapolis. Jackson Rayhana, we know he's not here. He hasn't been for a few weeks now, which is just a sad state of affairs as far as the quality component of this championship is concerned. I mean that so sincerely. Ed Rollo on 190. He's out there tonight. He's third at the moment. He's having a dream run, so he could well move up and get past Jackson Rayhana tonight. But again, he's got no drop rounds to fall back on either. So yeah, there's different equations playing out everywhere you look. I've got some good news coming in, however, Joe, from Adelaide. Finally, it's stopped bloody raining out there. The match has been delayed by a wet outfield, but Seven's coverage of the cricket has just resumed at 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. So that would make me believe that we're going to get something in the way of a 5, maybe 10 over match between the two teams tonight. And 5 overs is all you need to constitute a game of T20 cricket, weather affected. So that's good news coming in finally at long last from South Australia, the city of churches, and today the city of rivers. Here is Greg Heaney up the outside of Luke Brooker on the run down the hill. And look who's caught them. Oh, Heaney's off the road momentarily. And Brooker's wide as well. Stephen Bull on the inside. 2 for the price of 1, please, and thank you, he says. Bull's back to form. This championship is not dead yet. That's all it takes, Joe. How many times have we seen it already? Everybody on the limit down at the bottom of the circuit, the bottom of the hill, they trip up on that chicane, that sequence, that S-bend. Right, it's right, left, then right again. It's a tight hairpin right up out of there. How many times have we seen it? That's the trip up point for so many people. Greg Heaney to pit lane at the end of lap 10. So I'm looking at this and thinking 412s are 48. We're on lap 12. This is the critical lap. If you want to do it in 3 stops, this is the minimum you've got to reach. Heaney will, of course, get a little bit of fuel save under the safety car whenever that is. We don't know when that's falling just yet. There's a lot to like about this, Joe. And make sure, by the way, a couple of weeks ago when I was here, you were talking to yourself. You were talking to me, but nobody else. So let's just make sure we got that sorted. Yeah,
people have got to put up with my voice too. I can see it now.
You're right.
Excellent. This is hugely exciting for an 8-car race or 9-car race, but better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, well, Ed Rollo, he's doing a good job up there. He's actually had, his last lap time was actually better than Stephen Bull's. He did a 14.16 to a 14.8 for Bull, and he's done a 13.75 as his best lap, which is only 3/4 of a second off of what Stephen's done. But Stephen now, he's got wet sails, and he's he hasn't got anybody holding him up, so I'd imagine he'll probably put in a pretty good lap this time round.
Clear left side, clear left.
Greg Heaney was in the pits for a long time.
Well, 9.6, is that a long time?
45.
Yeah.
This is the last lap of
What's the
fuel.
transit time like as well? That's the other thing too.
Well,
it's not the world's longest pit lane.
No, it's not.
Around Stephen Bull, by the way, was 1 minute 13.697, 6/10 off his best.
Yep.
So all the guys have made it to the critical point. I don't think this is a 2-stop race, Joe. I mean, you'd have
doubt it very much.
You'd have to get to 16, right? 16:32.48, right? But based on the fact that Brooker and Heaney have already been in, that might be damage related. I'm not sure. Lavis and Luthwaite. Luthwaite is now having at it. Lavis is on the defence. They're on the inside to the second to last corners here.
In this lap,
through the right-hander and back around all the main track. Well, actually,
that was very wide there.
So that is interesting. Here comes Lavis on the outside. Luthwaite to attack on the inside, to return serve and go back to the lead. Thanks for coming. Second lead change of the race. He clipped up a bit of grass on the exit of turn 1. He leads again in Alabama. Nathan Michael's in. So we're on the cusp, right? So it's a big... To explain to people at home, there's a big difference, right? In going 3/12s a 36, and then you can get home 12 to 48, and saying 16:32.48. Yes, you're trying to do yourself a justice, a favour, by going 4 laps longer, but there's a lot involved in being able to do that for the greater good of being able to save yourself one transit down the pit lane.
Well, the other problem it has too, when you try, well, I don't know about these guys, I know Mav's good at it, but if you try and save fuel, it can get you out of rhythm and you start making mistakes because you're not using your normal rhythm around the track. So you're lifting early, coasting, and it's harder to judge where your braking marker should be. So like you may want to normally brake at, say, the 100 mark, but when you're lifting coast, you can brake at the 80, and it's just, yeah, that strategy side of it can come into it if you try and save a heap of fuel. But here's Mav in the pits. Now, he's been outlapped by a Luthway. He's going again. So I think you might have been right in saying that it was probably a strategic move where Aiden was letting Mav back in front.
Yeah,
so Aiden's at the position now, so he can come in this lap. He'll be in the pits a little bit longer, but he'll also probably come out just behind Mav because he'll have to take a bit more fuel.
Right here.
We'll chat to Bondi once we go to caution. I can guarantee you that, because that'll be a chance for us to catch our breath and him as well. But I'll be interested to get his take on it. He's in pit lane at the moment. He's been there for 12.5 seconds. He leaves. Edward Willow 11.08. Adam Lavis 10.58.
There's traffic on the exit.
So
Keep it tight.
Anywhere between 9 and 13 seconds as we're seeing these drivers on pit lane.
Your tyres are cold. Watch out.
Luthwaite won at 12.235, fastest time of the race that time round in clear air. So he's not mucking around. He's the only one consistently in the 12s at the moment. He's in the pit lane at the end of lap 15. Adam Lavis a 12.4 and a 12.6 for Bondi. They're the only three to be in the 12s so far tonight. So Bondi's on pace with the top two in the race. That's fairly impressive. And Stephen Bull, I reckon, will be the fourth into the 12s. It's only a matter of time. But the other interesting thing for mine, Joe, is Luthwaite's made it to 15,
from
right?
position 2. We think he'll come out just behind you.
I'm very curious as to where this safety car falls as to what the strategy is from this point, because it's all right to go in with the game plan and a strategy in mind and how you want to attack it, but then to go out there and execute it, it's very much dependent on where that safety car falls.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we found most of the races this season, the safety car's been out really late, and Mav's gotten by Luthwaite, so I called that with the time in the pits. But if we do get a safety car, that's going to have Luthwaite an extra lap better.
Yeah.
And he's making the move.
Yeah.
No, Mav covers it.
He went 13.33 on the box as well, Joe. So that's a big stop for Luthwaite. Longest one of the opening steep bar, Luke Brook at 13.57. So he's gone right to the brink as far as fuel top-up is concerned, you would imagine.
Stephen Bull was 14.35 in pit lane.
Car right.
He's the longest stop.
That's a good pickup.
Clear right.
I missed that entirely.
And he's almost 15 seconds off the lead. But in saying that, he's also sitting in third, and we've got a random safety coming. So
he's got clear air.
Got clear air. He's back in contention. I don't even think he's got any lap cars around him. So yeah, he's golden now. He's just got to tonk along, keep the car straight, and get to the next pit stop.
Good news from the Adelaide Oval. I was right. It is a 5-over match between the Strikers and the Thunder over there. And it's going to therefore be a slogfest for 30 balls per side. So whoever can get down and get cracking from the outset will reap the reward, you would imagine. Here's a move
Right side's clear.
Nicely done.
Well done, Craig.
The
Nice
Boston
move,
Gunner
mate.
guy on Edward Rollo goes to fourth. Rollo back to 15, he's sixth, single line traffic now. I'd much prefer that to what I had to contend with today, Joe. Jesus. For those of you playing along at home, I really hope you enjoyed your expeditions and your excursions and your exploits today, going out, getting amongst Black Friday. Thank Christ it only happens once a year. I have it's never been that much of a struggle to get a car park at the main shopping centre here in Ipswich, and there's never been that disgusting a level of volume of both traffic and people to contend with along the way. I didn't get all my Black Friday shopping done, but what I've spent compared to what I would have spent had I not waited for the savings to come on the shelf, I'm a very happy camper. And those of you that have been following the story closely throughout the course of the season, you know I've been looking for a new PC and getting ready to upgrade all of that infrastructure at the end of next week. Once we finish off here next Friday night, this PC's been put out to pasture. But the reality of the matter is,
behind is increasing.
thanks
It's now
to Sammy
1.3
Stride
seconds.
for steering me in the right direction, and also the bloke at JB Hi-Fi that pointed me in the direction of number one computer shop here in Ipswich on Monday morning. I went there Wednesday, I went there yesterday, I went back this morning and said, here's my credit card, take the money, you've got the deal. They do custom builds, that's exactly what I was looking for, it's upgradable. The only reason I didn't give Strider the job is because they're 10 minutes down the road and he's 10 hours down the road. So from a convenience standpoint, I've been able to go in and check in and get things sorted if they go wrong. That's just
a lot easier to organise tech help. 10 minutes away versus 10 hours away, right?
100%. So, no, thanks to everybody, because a lot of people from within the club internally, as well as, and Strider in particular, he was instrumental. He put the case together for me. He said, this is what you need, this is what you're looking for, this is what you want. And I just took it to these guys, and they've pretty much gone pound for pound on it. A couple of little differences. But yeah, those guys that steer me in the right direction, saying, don't go to Arnold, don't go
Rolly
to
behind is increasing. It's now
that's
2.7
fantastic.
seconds.
All I've got to do now, Trucker, is work out how I'm going to put it together from a monitor standpoint, because the current infrastructure I've got needs to be given a little bit of TLC to upgrade facilities here in order to facilitate either 3 or 4 screens. But I figure that there'll be a couple of sales still to come, Boxing Day, New Year, etc., in which I can take advantage of those, because I just haven't found yet the right setup at the end of Black Friday. So I ticked all the boxes bar that one. But that means that next year, when we're firing up Ready to Rock and Roll on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, I'll be doing so with a new engine, so to speak. There's Edward Rollo with an off track, and this is how it happened.
What, don't hit the fan too?
No, not the outcome. That's it. That's that one. He's last in the order now, so that was Paul Rogers going through top of screen. So, but no, that was a big weight off the load. Trucker being able to go and get all that done, you know what it's like.
Yes.
The improvement in this field, computers, technical infrastructure, gaming, monitors, everything, exponential in the last half a decade. And the last time I went to May 2019, the game has changed tenfold since then. Edward Rollo, another off-track excursion, same as the last one. Here it is. Actually, this is going to be a little bit hairier, I think. Up through the. Oh, hang on, Blondie. I'll get to you in a moment. Oh, I was going to say up through the chicane. He didn't get through there cleanly. Stephen Bull, 111.738. 111.738. The fastest lap of the race. And what are you song about, please, Mr. Bond?
I'm getting bored.
Oh. How can you be getting bored? I've been sitting here trying to entertain you for 20 minutes.
I don't know. Do something
the short attention spans of children, Joe.
Oh, cheers.
Well, it's all right. Come in here in a minute. We're going to give you a job to do, Bondi.
What, quit this and just commentate for the night?
No. I'm looking here. We're on board. We're not on board with you. We're watching what you're doing. Take a deep breath, and I want you. We're going on board. Talk us through a lap. Go.
Oh crap! I don't even know where to start.
Well, you're on the main straight, so start there, son.
Into turn 1, we break the
113.0.
Back out to mid-track, flow it to mid-track to take a semi double apex corner, flat all the way up this hill. Try and strain your braking zone up at 200 board.
This is turn 5.
You know the corners, I don't.
Yep, keep going. You're going well.
Nice exit out of there. Don't get too much wheel spin, and now to the scary part.
Yes. A little bit of dirt on the left side of the racetrack there as well.
You know he's concentrating people in there because he went quiet.
Exactly. Keep going, Bobby. This is great.
This section's nice and flat. Just try and miss curbs, otherwise unsettles you and put you in the wall, which is always fun.
This is where Edward Rollo come unstuck.
Takes many balls to get through there without
That's it.
putting a wheel in the dirt.
Oh, no. You did well.
Nice catch, Bondy.
You caught it. Well played. Oh, I thought we were going to put the locker on him there, Joe, but he got through that beautifully. Have a look at that. Well done.
That's what you do when you get bored. You just start drifting.
That is a
Before,
lap of
your last lap time was at
Motorsport
1:12.9.
Park in Birmingham, Alabama, ladies and gentlemen, driven by C. Bond.
Okay, Craig.
Oh,
That's
dear.
good
We need to
consistency.
change that
Keep it
number to
up. That's
007,
half
I think.
fuel. You've used half your fuel.
1 for 11, the Adelaide Strikers. They're going along at a run of ball at the moment, and they've only got another 19 balls to bowl, or to be bowled or faced in that innings. So that's not a very promising start, but they've got to they've got to set the target, and then the task is going to be for the Thunder to chase it down, and that can be easier said than done sometimes. We pick up Aiden Luthwaite again, Joe. Still staying within striking distance of Adam Lavis. No sign of Stephen Bull yet, but he's already put 6 seconds on Bondi. So very, very clear signs that once we go back to green, once we have this portion and the field is neutralised and everybody... yeah, there it is, racing rookie. That's it. Bond, Craig Bond indeed. Once this field is neutralised and bunched back up, it is going to be a 3-horse race, and I'm genuinely excited to see how this plays out, because we know that
lap time was at 1:12.7.
is in probably very comfortable form at the moment. He's got good pace on this circuit. Pace not necessarily always his forte compared to Luthwaite and Bull. Let's be absolutely brutally honest about it.
P3 in,
He's
the gap
often
is
on
5.8
occasion referred to
seconds.
himself as a fraud in the way in which he's been so far up the championship ladder, but it's been testament and hallmark to his consistency more than anything else. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he holds his own against Luthwaite, who's not in championship contention, and Stephen Bull, who's the bloke he's trying to reel in, of course.
Yeah, look, it doesn't seem to matter what championship Mav's in. He's just so consistent. Like, he had a bit of a shocker in the skips that we were just in, but he's still up there in the top 2. Like, when you got a bloke like Neil Gardner, who's an 8.5k I-rating guy who lives for the skip barbers, he's really, really hard guy to catch, and Mav's been putting it to him all season with consistency. Neil's missed a couple of rounds, but yeah, unfortunately, just he got caught up in somebody else's mistake in the skips, but that's another championship. Like, he's just racking up the top 3s. I think he's probably got more top 3 championship finishes than anybody in the club. It's actually a stat. We'll have to get Mr. President to go back and have a look at who actually holds a record for the most number of top 3s.
Yeah.
As Heaney's in the pits.
And let's be perfectly honest. So that's pretty much on sequence for Greg, considering that he also stopped at the end of lap 11. He was a little bit or 12. He was in earlier than anybody else, so we know he's off sequence. So that's true to form, but just goes to show you how quickly 24 laps have come and gone around here, doesn't it? I mean, that's what, we're not even half an hour into this race yet. We will be in about 15 seconds time. But yeah, already into the second round of pit stops, and yet the question begs, where's this safety car falling? Where is the pace car going to be deployed in this race to bunch it all up and reset and go again? And let's be perfectly honest, for Bond to be one of 4 drivers sub 12, in fact, Paul Rogers has gone and done a 1:12.232 as well. So there's 5 drivers now running around sub 1 minute 12s as their best pace of the night.
That's halfway.
We've got to watch when
We
this goes back to green.
estimate 4 laps remaining on this
Rogers is going to
tank.
have to avoid getting caught up in another incident, and Bondi's going to have to avoid another spin. We didn't ask him about that. We will during the course.
Lap 32 is my prediction for the safety car.
32, okay. Oh, bold prediction from Bondi. We're not playing bingo with that one, Bondi, but I'll tell you what, props to you if you picked it. I'll give you that much. Oh, well, that would make things very interesting, because yeah, it'll be touch and go as to whether you can get home. I mean, Aiden Luthwaite, Stephen Bull, they got the right 15. Nobody else did.
I say nothing.
Copy. Richie Benno always said, if you can't add to the picture, it's best not to speak. So that's a fair point. I don't take that advice because not because I don't respect the great man, and I mean, cricket commentary, he set the benchmark, he was the standard for the longest period of time. But my problem is I get paid to talk, so if I'm not talking, I feel
3
as though
laps
I
of
shouldn't
fuel
be honest.
remaining. That lap time was
Luke Walker at 7th
112.4.
spot. He goes to pit lane now, and that'll be his second stop. Yeah, we're trying to figure out the same bloody thing, Johnny. Don't worry about that.
The gap to Bull ahead is now 6.3 seconds.
The IndyCar standings here, and where it says Luke Brooker, not assigned to a team. He's got dash next to his name on the team points table matrix at the moment. So as soon as I'm sure that Greg Handy's in his ear because he's already got the right colours. I'm sure Greg's already having a chat to him, but he just hasn't converted just yet.
If he hasn't, he probably should.
Correct. Yes, it's going to be an interesting summer with regard to WBR and Greg Handy and any potential negotiations that may unfold. Looking forward to that immensely. Hard to believe, Joe. We've been asking the question this week. You may or may not have heard it last night. Although that being said, very fine form from you, by the way. That was very cheeky, but I'm all for it. I didn't spot Nick Fodiatis on the grid, and I assume you didn't either. Last night at Sebring.
No, I didn't.
That was one of the great drive-bys we've ever had in 5.5 years on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Forget about all the drive-bys that Trent Lavis and Chris Whitaker have done on one another, and Chris has done on me with regards to getting me wound up about politics of daylight saving or whatever. But that was one of the great drive-bys. But I've been asking the drivers this week because we're not sure when the Adelaide Parkland circuit is dropping, when iRacing is releasing that content. There's speculation around December 17. We'd love to see it a little bit earlier. We'd love to see it, you know,
The gap to P3 ahead is increasing. It's now 6.6 seconds.
Early the week after would be ideal because our season's over, so it doesn't affect our server timings. But it also gives everybody at home maybe 3 or 4 days to prepare themselves for a track, for a run around there, a rip and tear in the Super Formula Lights in the Australian Open World Nationals, which are exclusive to the platform for the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club Sunday, December 14th.
Well, that'd be scary.
But how good would it be? What a spectacle. So as a result of that, Joe, I've posed the question to everybody. It used to be the starting point of the season. I mean, it's now the end because they're trying to say, well,
You've only got enough fuel for this lap.
The grand finale here, we may as well bring the supercars here. They're trying to compensate for what they had.
Rogers behind is pitting now.
It sounds like the same, but that's another story. The reality of the matter is we've got a wonderful opportunity as a club, and I know we've been critical in the past as we watch Paul Rogers come down pit lane as well. Still no Bond, Bull, Luke Waite or Lavis to pit lane the second time through, nor Edward Rollo, but he could well come in this lap. We've just got to wait and see. We're waiting for that safety car to be deployed. It has been by
The gap to P3 in front is now 6.7 seconds.
Coincidence. There you go. December 10th.
1 litre remaining.
December 10th. Thank you, Tyson Broad. December 10th
All right,
is
Craig.
content day
In this
for
lap.
iRacing.
In this
So,
lap.
I put it to our Australian Open World National organisers that Adelaide should be the SFL venue for the Australian Open World Nationals. Just by default, it should be right. Newest canvas, our own backyard.
What's your speed?
Have at it. Good luck.
And here's another take. Everybody has
Box
to
in
run a livery from
320
Grand Prix
metres.
We'll
need to stop again to get to the end.
Earlier.
95 and earlier? Yeah. I'm all
Box
for it.
in 5,
And
4, 3.
that drummed up a second
2.
thought for me, Joe, because obviously there were a
Box
few
now.
guys in here, you know, whinging and moaning last night about, in a
Front
good way,
left,
because we love
87%,
matter of
left rear,
opinion, and we
90.
love giving you guys ideas to work with at committee level with how you put the schedule together and what you put on the table as far as classes, categories, championships are concerned next year. We were talking about
Thanks, it looks
Porsches
clear.
that always weren't happy about the new ones having ABS and traction control and all that. They said if we wanted to do that, we'd turn up on a Monday night. But I then
Car in front of us
put it
is
to them,
Maverick.
right?
B-licence, and their
Since
rating
Adelaide's
is
not going to feature in
1.9.
our fourth term, why don't we do what we used to do with Bathurst as grand final week and make Adelaide, right, opening week, every single category across the board, opening week next year, January 19 I think is going to be our opening week, so 19, 20, 21, 22,
Our
23.
refuelling window opens on lap 35. It will end
I
on
think
lap
that's probably
41.
not a bad idea.
We have no
You can't have
recorded
too much
pit timings.
Adelaide.
This is the fuel
I think
estimate.
Not when it's the new toy in the shed, no.
That's right, yeah. The supercars will be a lot of fun around there. We've seen how much fun they were today. So, got to sprinkle a little bit of rain. You want it real life, we'll give you real life. We'll put rain at Adelaide for the first race there in the supercars.
Well, here's the thing, right? Stephen will come to pit lane. So Stephen's gone earlier than Aiden this time through. Everybody else has stopped. Lavis comes through. Luthwaite's going to get 15 laps out of his second stint as well, and all of a sudden there's a real conversation about the unfold here.
Behind is now 11 seconds.
Can retain the lead coming out of this pit stop. Can he save enough fuel? There's Greg Heaney with another spin.
Turn 16.
Can he save enough fuel under the safety car to do 18 laps home? Or does he just play it safe, come and top up the tank? Because I think wherever this safety car falls now, everybody runs the gauntlet, everybody tops up under safety car, everybody saves fuel.
Okay, Craig, the next car is full. Their rating is 4.8.
Damned if you do in some instances, if you just can't save the fuel, you know, you'll see a couple of guys coming like 47, 48. But given where we're at now,
the
I
gap
get a
is
real
now
feeling
6.2 seconds.
that someone like Aiden Luthwaite, who is going again, so this is like 16 of his stint, he's in the window. He's in the window to two-stop it, and nobody else is.
Actually, you're right. So with a couple of laps around behind the safety car, that's absolutely going to put him at the forefront.
Yeah. He's in the window to do it on a two-stop. Whereas everybody else, I think, is in a little bit of trouble. Unless they're in ultra-save mode under the caution.
That last lap was
Meanwhile, at the Adelaide Oval, 2 for
12.8.
32 up to 3.5, the Strikers. So the Thunder are going to be chasing about 8 and over, you would imagine, in that game of cricket. Hopefully the rain's not going to ruin any hope of us getting a result there. Aiden Luthwaite, we're on board with him now, and he's in pit lane. Here we go. So this is the critical lap. Lap 31. He got 16 laps out of this stint. He's got to go 17 for the one home, and he's going to get some fuel back under safety car. This is doable for Aiden Luthwaite. This is the defining point of the race as far as I'm concerned right here and now.
Just depends on whether or not, well, it won't really matter if Mav gets out in front of him, gets in front of him during the pit stop, because he's going to have to stop.
Yeah. And apparently, by the way, actually, Joe, you mentioned rain and Adelaide and supercars and iRacing. iRacing wouldn't have thrown the red flag today.
Absolutely not.
No.
No. And the other thing too,
so you
rain,
can have too much rain, it would seem.
Yeah, definitely. We also lost the sprint cars in the city race.
That lap time was 1:12.2.
I don't know if you followed them on Clay-Per-View, but the feature races from the last couple of nights, race 1 was James McFadden on Wednesday night, and last night was won by Jamie Veal, and they were amazing
The gap
races.
to P3 ahead is now
So
6.2.
definitely jump on YouTube and have a look at those if you like your dirt track sprint car racing. Get on to Clay-Per-View and have a look at them on YouTube, because awesome. And our very own Dale Sharp was actually there last night. I believe he was meant to be there tonight again, but unfortunately the weather got the better of him.
Indeed. And Sharpie, actually, as a result of that, he could have been in here in the sim, having a run with us if he didn't have any speedway to spectate, but that's okay. We understand. It's probably a social experience nonetheless, being out there in the streets of Adelaide this week. Chapo was only complaining about the volume of traffic there last night. He's looking forward to Monday already. Luthwaite. Caution. There we go. There's the safety car. Perfect for Aiden Luthwaite. Perfect for Aiden Luthwaite. The end of lap 32 is where that caution falls, and watch Luthwaite go into ultra save mode now.
I was just about to say, man, as he lifted early. So he's
P5.
12
Closing in. The gap is now
seconds behind
7.2 seconds.
Yeah. And there it is, by the way, folks. Now, did the safety car... Yes, the safety car was deployed early enough to catch
Incident in
Adam
the
Lavis.
hairpin. We think it might be
And
Maverick.
Lavis and everybody else there in this time, Joe. I mean, it's going to be a tough slog for some of these guys to save the fuel required to get home from this point, but you're mad if you gift anybody in this field a free kick
There's
by
an
having
incident
to do a
in
green
turn
flag pit
6.
stop,
We think it might be
unless you are
Maverick.
absolutely coughing and spluttering on fuel. at the end.
Tell you what, if there's anybody to do it,
looks like it's
our young
Maverick.
mate that's in here with us, Craig Bond, I think he might have tried it a few weeks ago. So, Bondy, how's about it? Are you going to try and get home from here, or are you going to pit this time and fill it up?
I'm gonna drive until I'm out of fuel. I'm currently right in the clutch, so I'm doing everything I can.
Good boy.
Oh, okay.
Incident in
Very
the
good.
S's. It looks like
Lap,
Maverick.
oh, well, hang on. I was going to say Bondi, lap 2, pit stop 2, lap 28. I don't think you can get 20 laps even with the fuel save, mate. So surely you've got to go into pit lane and top up the tank. Under caution.
Well, I'll do it for you then, Zach.
No. I just don't want to see you run out of
12.
fuel
It looks
and
like
top and
again.
slide at the line.
We don't
Yeah,
want
correct.
Portland again.
No.
No, we don't.
There's an incident in the
No,
tunnel.
and you were
We
having
think
a
it
pretty
might
good
be
race that
Maverick.
night, and I think you just fumbled the strategy, which was, I'm sure you would have
There's
gone
an
back and looked
incident
at it
in turn
and
14.
been
Looks
disappointed
like
that
it's
you
Maverick.
didn't take the opportunity to pit. Yeah, it certainly would have changed the outcome of the race for you, but
Incident
yeah,
in turn 15.
I think about the only
We think it might
person,
be
I think you're
Maverick.
right, the
You
only
have
one who
one,
won't
right.
pit this time is going to be Aidan Luthwaite, and look at that, you're right.
What's your speed limit in the
Everybody in
pits?
except Luthwaite. There we go. Had to see that one coming, didn't you?
Box in,
Everybody in.
320 metres.
So, tactically, Aidan Luthwaite has played this perfectly.
Box in, a 5.
If anybody was going to do it, it
Four,
was going to be the versatile,
2,
dominant
1.
force of Friday Night Motorsport on the
Box
platforms
now.
of Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Lavis, in.
No
Full,
tyres.
In. No.
Left front, 96%.
And that's the
Rear
other thing.
left,
Why would you?
98.
I mean, a lot of these guys are only 2 or 3 laps into their stint.
Yeah, exactly.
Your pit exit looks clear. Your right tyres are cold.
Catch up, 441 car.
So the only
like
only
P1
flip
has
side
gone
is
off in
yes,
turn
Aidan
4.
has made it 15 laps on HVC. Yeah,
Looks like the
it's
leader's
going to be
been
interesting.
in
If
the hairpin.
Stephen can clear Mav right after the green, he's
Yep.
going to push Aidan all the way. Like we know how fast Steve Bull is. He's a absolute force in the open wheel downforce cars. He always has been since he joined the club. Maybe 3 years ago now. I think was the first time
Looks
we've
like the
seen
leader
him
has
was
gone off
in the
in turn
IndyCar
6.
series. So he's always had a bit of an
Looks like the
affinity
leader
with this
has gone
style
off
of
in
car.
turn
So
7.
if he can clear Mav early, he'll probably have something for Aidan, and if he can push Aidan to use all the pace that he needs to, it might run Aidan close to the edge on
There's an
fuel.
incident in the corkscrew. It
If
looks
not,
like
Aidan
Michael Brooker
probably run
and
away with it.
Raleigh.
So they're my predictions, hedging either way. Or Mav lets him go.
Looks like P1 has
There's
gone
contact.
off in the S's.
Mav does the Bradbury.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh boy, hold your breath, Australia. This is going to get very interesting.
Yeah, in saying that though, Mav's actually had genuine pace tonight. Like his lap time has
Looks
been
like the
right
leader's
there with
been
Aidan
in
to it.
turn
Steve Bull
12.
did an 11.7 in that last stint. So
There's the other big talking point
Looks
as
like
well,
the leader's
Joe.
been there in
Lights
the
out on the
tunnel.
safety car already. So this is going to be
short.
15 laps green. It's a short safety car. 15 laps green to
There's an
get us
incident
home.
in turn
Is
14.
that going to
Looks
trip
like
anybody
it's
up
Bull.
along the way?
20
How
minutes
much
to
fuel
go.
savings going to have to be
Get
done
ready, going green.
Looks like
here and
P1 has gone
now
off
to
in
ensure
turn 15.
that we don't have
Carries off.
for most of the field a 4th pit stop and for Aidan Luthwaite a 3rd. If he can get it done on 2, it's one of the great drives of the season, there's no doubt about that. He's due a win as well as Aidan Luthwaite. Back to green we go in Alabama. Let's go. Luthwaite held the field as long as he could. Now he goes. Foot to the floor. Lavis under pressure from Bull already.
0.
I didn't get to ask Bondi an important question. I'll get to him at the end here. I want him to concentrate for the moment because if he can latch on and go with Stephen Bull, Adam Lavis and Aidan Luthwaite, it'll be a good educational exercise for him. He can learn a lot from 3 of the open wheel masters of this club. Adam
Big
Lavis,
move
of
around the
course, the
outside for Bull.
500k winner. Bull to the outside. Not going to work just yet, but he's there. He'll get the run off the corner. Out of turn 5. He's right up alongside Adam Lavis. He's going to second on the run down the hill. These are championship-defining moments, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we nearly got into the back of Aidan Luthwaite. You cannot afford a second incident down here, Stephen.
That was a big move by Stephen around the outside at the hairpin, and he managed to keep the speed up around the outside and just got him onto the inside for the little run down the hill. Matt just couldn't do anything about it. So now, has he got anything for Aiden? Outright pace, it looks like he has, but I think Aiden might have been fuel saving, which is why he was getting 15 laps to a tank. But with this short and yellow, has that compromised Aiden's run for the to the flag? This is going to be awkward for Aiden.
Well, maybe not, because he managed to get 16 laps out of that second stint on a green run. So he's had 2 laps under caution to save fuel. So I think
wasn't getting chased by an angry bull, though.
That's right. And Bull's got to be yeah, well done. I see what you did there, Joe. Bull's got to get 15 laps out of the tank as well. He did that in the first stint. So this is going to be on in earnest. And now it's going to be about how the racecraft of Aiden Luthwaite and how he goes about defending. Let's hope Bondi doesn't lose the rear end going back onto the main straight as well. That happened earlier in the race. He can't afford a mistake now. He's there on the cusp of another top 5 finish in this series. Through they go, out of the hairpin once more. 0.3 the margin. Luthwaite, Bull, Davis. And then Bond, Rogers, Michael. Walker, Rollo and Heaney. Oh boy. It's a pressure cooker in Alabama. Something about Friday nights this season, they've always gone down to the wire.
All right.
Be it an oval, be it a road course, we've enjoyed bringing it
Right side's clear.
It's actually been worth doing the overtime on a Friday night, I must say, Joe. I've enjoyed that.
That's disappointing,
when I've had
but
the
shit happens.
opportunity
Keep
to be here,
pushing.
of
Come on,
course,
Craig.
and, here for the grand finale next week as well. Looking forward to that. To the left-hander at the end of the
P5.
straight, Luthwaite. The start of lap 36, final quarter of the race.
I think one of the things that's helped the Friday nights, whilst we haven't had the outright numbers, this car, it's new to the service. It only came in season 3, but man, it's been a great addition to the service. It always puts on good racing. Mightn't have the numbers, but the racing's genuinely been really good all season.
It has been. And let's hope for the same again next week at the Brickyard. In fact, let's hope that some of the guys that haven't been here for a couple of weeks but have popped up throughout the course of the season come and have a run next Friday night, just because it is the last competition race minus the Australian Open International for 6 weeks. So, I mean, we're looking forward to that 6-week break. Make no mistake about that. Like, we are hitting the wall at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. We're very much looking forward to the summer break and the time off and the change in routine and the chance to relax and put the feet up and catch up with family and celebrate the festive season, all that crap. We're looking forward to it, but we're also looking forward to everything that will come of the start of 2026 when we reconvene here on January 19. Across the start-finish line we go. Luthwaite under pressure from Bull. The closest he's been all day. Lavis is another second back now. So Lavis has lost contact with this train. Rogers and Bond are there as well. Rogers has got by Bondi. Despite the fact that Bondi's just punched out his fastest time of the night, 1 minute 12.111. So that's impressive. And Lavis a 12.1 as well. An 11.8 last time through for Bull. A 12.0 for Luthwaite. Bull the fastest lap of the race in 11.7. All happening here, isn't it? 11 to go. Hey, quickly around the grounds. I want to get this in before we lose any more time. 2 for 45, the strikers finished up. The Thunder are going to have to chase 46 for victory, which is 9.2 and over. It's a 5 over reduced rain-affected match there at the Adelaide Oval, but at least they've got some cricket in today. The Aussies, oh wow, the Matildas have thumped New Zealand tonight 5-0 in Gosford. And meanwhile, the A-League playing out at Suncorp Stadium as well. The Isuzu Ute A-League at
turn 16,
and the
looks
Melbourne
like
Victory.
Bull.
The first match of this weekend.
All right.
And Brisbane, it's saying live at the moment. I'll be interested to see when it says full time. It says 1-0 and it is full
Clear
time.
right.
So Brisbane have won that one as well. So a good win for the Raw at home on a Friday night. That's your around the grounds update.
I hope you call that spin.
Stephen Bull. Yeah, well, actually, yeah, well picked up, Bondi. Well picked up. Bull's had another moment. And look who he's behind. Look who he's behind. Bondi's up to 4th. Rogers is 3rd, chasing Lavis. And Aiden Luthwaite's got a 2.1 second lead. And all of a sudden can start fuel saving again. Rogers to the outside of Lavis. Couldn't get through. So all that meanwhile, it always happens, doesn't it, Joe? I can never time my around the grounds updates well because something always happens when I'm doing the bloody thing. Let's have a look.
Why is it not playing play? No, that's not what I want to look at. Hang on.
He's on the outside there. That was the move that took him to second. Yeah. Let's have a look at this. Okay. So Lavis. Bull did a bond except one corner earlier, and instead of going to the left, it went to the right. So exactly the same, but in the opposite direction.
He's grabbed the curb.
Yeah,
he's really lucky.
And that's the point, Bondi, right? Like we go to you. I don't want to distract you here because you got Bull right up your clucky, you got Rogers just up ahead. Right, but
left side.
If you can, when you can, talk to me as Bull goes down your inside. There it is, job done. Bull's going through into fourth spot. Bond holds on to fifth.
Don't
and
panic.
look at the run. Look at the run that Paul Rogers has got at Adam Lavis here. Side by side we go. Lavis again with the inside running. Bull. Oh no. Rogers back down the inside. No. Not yet. Not yet. He had a look, he went left, he went right. Joey was trying to pressure Adam into a mistake, trying to force him to open the door for him. And yet Lavis was up for the challenge. And this is critical because if Rogers can stay there between Lavis and Bull, it's a buffer. It's a wall of defence for Adam Lavis as far as trying to steal some points away from Stephen Bull's points advantage in this championship is concerned. Luke Brook has just dropped off the road. He's been the big loser out of the restart. He's dropped back down to 9. Greg Heaney to 8. Edward Roll at 7. Nathan Michael, Paul Rogers, Craig Bond, Aidan Luke-Wade all remain on this grid exactly where they started. Plus 2, the biggest move of the night. That belongs to Adam Lavis as well. That's a bonus point if he can hold on to that. And Aidan Luke-Wade's just punched out the fastest number of the night at 1:11.441. Jesus, there's a lot going on in a short period of time.
He's making the move on Rogers, up the inside.
And got it. The run out of there will be key, but Bull's already done enough to cover that off. Bull goes to 3rd, Lavis to 2nd. That's not good for Adam. He would have loved for Paul Rogers to stay there, but it was always going to be a tough ask for Paul Rogers to keep Stephen Bull at bay. This is his second fight back of the night. 2.7 seconds the deficit to Luke-Wade. I don't think they're catching him. This is Luke-Wade's to lose now. And it always was, but now more so, because he's actually in a position where he's not vulnerable. He's not going to be pushed into burning any more fuel than he has to. So that's a big win for him. The margin is 1.6.
There.
Actually, they've just caught Luke-Wade, so that gives you an indication as to how much fuel save he just did. 0.8 that time through. And a 1:13.79 as opposed to a 12.3. So they're all in fuel save mode right now. Stephen Bull's just gone out and punched out an 11.716. Reaches his best of the night, but that's a clear indication that Aidan Luke-Wade was on the clutch going through the last sequence of corners. Hey Bondi, you found out the tough way, mate, and I'm sorry to do this to you, but you found out the tough way. What we just saw there was Stephen Bull. The curbs on these two cars, they don't agree.
No, they don't. But also wheel spin does not help any cause. But
no.
Yeah, they're really sensitive cars to any bit of curb or anything. I've touched the grass a couple times and it's taken a couple tenths off me and just sucked me in, which has cost me tiny bits in this race, but not too bad.
Is
10 minutes to go. Going well.
Stephen Bull's all over the back of Mav now. It's a coming with, we got 5 to go.
3, 9, 6.
Yep.
Down through turn
6 to
1.
go. 6 to go. Sorry.
6 to go.
3, 4.
We're 7/8 race distance. 87.5% down. 12.5 to go. Sorry, I got too technical, too mathematical then. Sorry, I told you last week, ladies and gentlemen, last night. Ball to the outside. Raven, ball was wide, ball's around. Ball, oh no, we caught it. I thought he was gone there for a moment, Joe. He had that thing pointed at 67.5 degrees. Have a look at this for a save from Stephen Bull. My goodness. He went to the outside on Lavis. He went for the move. And then he's gone too deep and he caught it. Wowee. A bit of overcorrection on the exit, but Lavis still under pressure in the battle for second. All the meanwhile, they've caught Aidan Luke-Wade to a point. They've shaped that deficit in half. It's 1.3. So we know that Luke Waite's tight on fuel. We know these guys are good to go to the end. The pressure will mount on Luke Waite once more. We're going to get what we wanted, which is a genuine 3-horse race to the flag. 5 to go in Alabama. I apologise. I said it last night. I stand by it. Maths is not a strong point.
Especially when there's 5 into 3, apparently.
Yeah.
Paul Rogers and Craig Bond. These guys are, Bondy and Rogers, they're in it as much for a podium finish. Like,
yep.
Bull is pushing really hard. So he's going for that outside. He's going for the over and under.
They stand to be. Oh, Lavis was wide and that forced Bull wide as well. Rogers gets invited back in, Joe. But this is the point, right? These two guys here, Rogers and Bond, stand to gain should anything go wrong for the top 3.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Mav grabbed a bit of curb, got wide.
This is fascinating stuff. This is why we turn up on a Friday night, Trucker, isn't it? I mean, you and I were only talking earlier in the night that you know, we're starting to get to that point where we're in autopilot, we're hitting the wall, right? We're towards the end of the year, we can see the checkered flag in the distance, we can reach out and touch it almost, and we're looking forward to just being able to put tools down. But this is what, you might drive yourself into the ground with, you know, exhaustion through pushing yourself too hard to turn up and work, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the course of the year. I know I certainly have. And you might kick yourself in the back end a little bit at the end of the season. Why'd you force too much work upon yourself? Why'd you overload yourself? Whatever the case may be. But this is why. This is why we turn up on a Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. Because of the show these guys have put on. New car, 10 circuits. It has been just one of the great series of the year. And there's been a lot of great racing across a lot of different championships, Joe. But this stuff on a Friday night has been top shelf from the outset. New car, familiar circuits, sure. But, and a familiar concept as well. But for a series in its infancy, in its, what do you call it, the inaugural series of the Indian
Stay between the lines, please, Craig.
I don't think we've seen too many better.
No. This race tonight just proves that quality over quantity is absolutely a thing. Like, you know, you got, you know, five of the best battle down here.
There's an incident in turn 16. I think it might be.
Up and over goes Paul! Can you believe this in Alabama?
P3.
I said it a moment ago, didn't I, Joe, that those two blokes there stood to gain should anything go wrong for the 2 ahead or the 3 ahead. Advantageated Luke Waite. Stephen Bull and Adam Lavis are going to be limping to the line, hamstrung. And it's a defining moment of the championship. There was nothing that Stephen Bull could do. The only mistake from Adam Lavis all night. Bull ended up in the wall. Lavis has no rear wing. Game over. They're not winning tonight.
Oh, I think Ads has gone off down at turn 1 as well. Another spin.
Turn 2.
No.
Oh, the rear end will give out at some point. He's got no rear wing. So he's got, aerodynamically, he's stuffed at this particular point in time. He is holding on to 4. Stephen Bull is 8. Those two are left to limp home. Can we have a look at the, yeah, Steve's got no front end either. So Adam's got no front or rear end, and Stephen's got no front end at this point. Oh no, sorry, reverse. Adam somehow has managed to hold on to his front wing, but not his rear.
Let's hope he's
he's
in the pits for a fast repair. He has to.
Yeah, and Stephen Bull will be as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a mechanical black flag, actually. Oh, Bull's going to go around. Bull is going to go around. Oh, wow.
2 laps to go. Oh, might have been a bit of a technical error there for Mav.
Maybe so. In. Fast repair. Out. See you later. 4.95 seconds. No further action. And that's the right call from race control. 2 laps to go. Oh, Stephen Bull's a mile up the road from Adam Lavis. Last time round was 1 minute 19. So the difference between the pair...
Coming to the pits at the end of this lap.
16
Box
seconds.
This lap.
Just
Adam
quietly.
Lavis needs a hell of a run home. Oh, actually, that's a good point, Joe. Go with it.
Doesn't have it all his own way. He's still trying to save fuel, and he's got Paul Rogers and Bondy all over him.
I'm fuel saving. So
Go,
get
go on,
man.
Bondi. Go on, Bondi. Win it or bin it, son. What? Back in the air. One more time around in Alabama. And Stolen on the wires who wins this thing.
All right,
Another
Greg.
bloody hell
One
of
more to
Greg
go.
Heaney
Keep
got
it
back to
together. We'll be
fourth
on the
with
podium.
the 2
All
3
right.
spins that he's had tonight. It's been
Clear
that
right.
sort of night. We only had 9 on the grid, but by gee, what a quality night they've been. White flag in the air.
Car
Loose
left.
weight, Rogers, Bond. Bondi to the outside of Rogers.
3 wide, you're on the right.
Rogers to the inside of Loose weight. Rogers deep. Loose weight back to the lead on the exit. Rogers is still there. Bond's on his outside. No, Bondi's fuel saving. Bondi's back out of this. That might be the right way to go. Rogers can see an opportunity to be a hero here and steal a win from the jaws of defeat. But to get past Aiden Luke, that's going to be a monumental assignment.
1 litre remaining.
Half a lap to go. Whatever the case, Joe, we're riding Bondi to a podium here. 13 seconds they've
Stewards
got
and
on
warners
Greg
about track
Heaney.
limits.
He's
Keep it between the
done.
lines.
Has Aiden got the fuel?
We're running on fumes. Lift and coast where you can.
Stephen Bull has still got 15 seconds on Adam Lavis. That's unfortunate. Final sequence of corners. Last turn, checkered flag, the fuel save masterclass, the 2-stop strategy trumps the 3-stop. Aiden Luke wins in Alabama. In another nail-biter
That'll do.
in the
Nice one.
Disruptive
That's the
Lives
end
in
of
the
session.
NXT series. By gee, haven't Disruptive Lives got their value for money so far this season?
Really well.
Hello, Richo. Good to have you tuning in. If you're tuning in a bit live or to a replay, my friend, well played. Greg Heaney in for 4th, Edward Robbo, the Michael. Stephen Bull will win home in 7th. And he gets the better of Adam Lavis in the championship fight. 7th place, 9th. Brooker in for 8th. He was the big loser in all of that, of course, in the restart. He dropped down the order. He was up 5 at one point. He ends up down 1 on where he started. +2 for Bondi, +5. Greg Heaney gets the bonus point for the biggest mover of the night. What the hell? +3 for Edward Rollo. And -5 for both Stephen Bull and Adam Lavis. You wouldn't fair and can believe it. And that bloke there will be very dejected. And rightly so. The only foot wrong all night, Joe. And it ends up being a championship-defining incident between 2 contenders. And not the first time we've seen Stephen Bull in contention for a race win in this series. And it blows up with a couple of laps to go. It happened in Iowa as well.
It did, and Luke Brooker, who's just behind Mav in the championships, finished ahead of him. So there's probably another 5 or 7 points that he's going to crawl back going into the grand final next week. So going to be a barn burner next week, I tell you.
Indeed, she is. I cannot wait to get to the Brickyard. Wait to get to the Brickyard. Next Friday night, we will bring it to you live, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you'll join us for that. The race will be 90 minutes up from the usual. That was one of the defining moments of the night. Bondi did well to escape that. So that's 2 incidents for the night for Stephen Bull. That's a good point, Joe. That's important to remember. The first one was with Paul Rogers. The second one with Adam Lavis. Absolutely nothing you could do about either of those, to be fair. We go to the Brickyard next week, knowing that it's a 2-horse race in this championship fight between Stephen Bull and also Adam Lavis. But we wait to see what might unfold. I mean, who's going to come back and have a cameo run? Who's going to throw their hat into the ring? Who's going to perform and play the trump card at the Brickyard and take the shine away from these guys? Tonight it was Aiden Luthwaite because all the carnage happened behind him. We've got Aiden Luthwaite here. We've got Stephen Bull here. We've got Greg Heaney here. Most positions gained. Thank you very much. We've got Paul Rogers. We've got Craig Bond. Oh, my goodness. We've got a packed house for the post-race show. Before I get to that, gentlemen, I need a breath. Joe, Mountain Man, penultimate one of the year. Tomorrow night, let's spin the wheel, find out where the hell we're going with regards to the car of choice.
Yep, we'll cue that one up here right now. So... all right, unfortunately, we had a bit of a dead rubber the other night. So the latest 49 didn't get any runners. So the GTP ZXT was spun on a wheel and added to this one. So let's see where we're off to tomorrow night or what car we're heading up to the mountain with. And, oh, we got trucks.
There we go. Oh, you beauty.
Oh, that's going to be a long night. But it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
I'm sure you'll enjoy it. The P2 Light Off-Road Super Truck for tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. 32 laps around Mount Panorama. Geez, that'll be a hell of a lot of fun for those guys. Good luck to all and sundry. Going around the grounds, the Sydney Thunder, a none for 38. They've done it in 2.3 overs. They've got 2.5 left. They've got 8 runs to get off 15 balls. They're only chasing 46 for victory. This is the Thunder's game to lose, and it'd have to be a catastrophic collapse from this point for them to walk away winless at the Adelaide Oval tonight. Let's get stuck into the post-race show. I want to go back. Bondi, well done on the fuel save, mate, and another podium. See, it pays to stay there for the long run.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. Yeah, well, firstly, thanks for you and Joe letting me chill in the booth tonight.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I was surging across the line, so that's why I dropped back like a decent chunk there. But yeah, just didn't have that extra pace to get by. Didn't want to cause an incident and cost myself in them a night. But to podium, I'm not gonna complain about that. So not too bad. Still had like 80 seconds of push to pass to use, so I should have used it earlier, but that might have helped.
You wouldn't fair dinkum believe it. I think it's just started drizzling rain again at the Adelaide Oval, and they're trying to get through the next 11 balls or whatever time it takes for the Thunder to get the last 3 runs required so they can get off there and find an umbrella. Bondi, stay with me, mate. It's a Friday night. I can keep you around a couple of minutes longer. Let's throw it up to the winner. Speaking of coughing and spluttering and surging across the line, just how close to empty were you, Aidan Lewthwaite? Nice to see you back in the booth. We're going to talk about a couple of other things with you in a moment, but nice to see you back in the house, in the IndyCar, and in victory lane.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't have much fuel towards the end there. I think about probably 400 mil or so. But yeah, it's great to be back. I've been on a small hiatus recently, but good to be back racing again, which is good. And in the cars, it's my strong suit basically, I think. But yeah, very very tough race towards the end there tonight with Paul and Craig. Well done to both of you guys as well. And yeah, it was really really good.
Friday night has definitely been your strong suit. There's no doubt about that. You're not going to believe it, folks. They've actually called this match. They're going to walk off the Adelaide Oval at 2.5 overs. They need 5 to constitute a match. And as a result of that, it's going to be match abandoned when the Thunder were 3 runs from victory. What lunacy at the Adelaide Oval. We've turned up for nothing. Now, Aidan, there's a bit to pick apart with you, actually, if you don't mind. I've never seen an adult male enjoy musical chairs as much as you have this year.
Yeah, no, it's been a bit of a merry-go-round, I suppose you could say. But no, I'm back at home now, I suppose you could say, back at WBR. Yeah, just wanted to try something different with the guys at Orbit, and I just never really felt at home there, to be honest. Tried to start my own team, and quickly realised, unfortunately, they didn't really have the time to run said team. So I thought, best thing to come back to WBR. That's basically it in a nutshell. I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, it is interesting because it caught us off guard because we knew that, you'd gone to Orbit, and then I think there was a brief venture over at another team formed by, I think it was our good mate Jack O'Dial. Then you're back at Whiskey Business. It seems like a comfy fit, especially when it comes to open wheelers on a Friday night. And I know there wasn't too much in the way of discussion that had to be had. Greg Heaney was needing some recruitment to be done. He didn't even need to get the checkbook out or start the negotiations. It was basically, welcome back, son.
Well, pretty much, that's pretty much it, which I was very, very thankful for. But yeah, no, the guys at WBR are great. I always really felt at home there, and we've got some good things lined up for next season, so looking forward to what 2026 brings. And yeah, I reckon onwards and upwards from here. I don't think I'll be moving anytime soon, so yeah, back at home now.
Indeed. Talk us through the challenges of that one, mate, because we called it. So we were looking at the numbers, and it was only when we saw you go to 16 laps on that second stint. We hadn't yet seen the caution, and I said to Joe, he's a chance. Truthfully, had the safety car been its traditional 3 laps instead of 2, you make that easy. But still, challenge accepted. You stay out behind the safety car, you save the fuel required, and you get home and tick the box. You make a 2-stop strategy work. But by gee, the boys were trying to run you out of juice, particularly Stephen Bull and Adam Lavis.
Definitely have those guys in my review mirror for there for sure. Bad luck to Lavis there as well at the last corner there. There was yeah, really heating up to be a really interesting race, but really unfortunate there. But yeah, as for fuel, I think yeah, it was definitely a very fuel concerning night. So yeah, like I said, sort of crossed the line with 300-400 mil left in the tank. So I reckon any more than that, it probably would have been surging across the line.
Indeed. Just repeating the news for those of you joining us, by the way. Matilda's over New Zealand 5-0 tonight, and Brisbane Roar 1-0 over Melbourne Victory in the only other sport that's going on a Friday night outside of what we're doing here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Aiden, these cars, very different to the IndyCar, obviously. I mean, obviously the same family. This is one of the steps lower down on the way up to the top of the pyramid. I know there's already chatter that people would love to see proper top flight IndyCar back on the platforms of the GSRC. But what have you made of these things so far?
I think these things are great. I picked it up, I think, pretty sure as soon as it came out, and it's as you said, it's in the same family. It feels like the big Indy car. It's a little bit harder to get the nose in. I feel it's a little bit more understeery in general. Obviously down on power, but the way the power is delivered is really interesting as well. It has got a bit of turbo lag, less so or more so than the IR18. But yeah, in a nutshell, I think it's great fun to drive and definitely worth picking up if you haven't got it.
Indeed. On the subject, have to ask you about a couple of things here because you are one of our prominent open world runners, but you also dabble in the tin top stuff. The boys were chatting last night about the Porsche, and there's a bit of opposition to the fact that ABS and traction control are going to come to the 992.2 and therefore our Porsche Cup next term. Where do you sit with that as someone that dabbles in the Porsches sporadically? Are you in favour of driver creature comforts, or are you in favour of driver ability holding sway as opposed to having all of that technology help you out?
I think, well, I can see pros and cons to both sides. I'm on the fence about it. I don't really mind either way, to put it one way. But I think with as we've seen with GT3, the driver assist can sometimes bunch up the field a little bit, make for more competitive racing. Obviously, there's a flip side to that as well, which is there's less driver skill sort of involved with that. But yeah, I'm undecided with that. It's not really my call to make, and I'm okay either way with it, to be honest. Yeah.
We did make the suggestion last night that the committee, not that they need to be had any more ideas being thrown in their general direction as to how to do their job, but we did offer up the idea that maybe the elite and open splits become the 992.1 and the 992.2 splits, but that's another conversation to be had in 6 weeks' time when we're putting the schedule together for next term. But from your standpoint, mate, Open World Nationals are coming up in a couple of weeks. We've got a lot of other great racing to get through between now and Christmas. But first up, the IndyCars next week, the Brickyard. Will we see you on the grid when we get to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for 90 minutes next Friday night? It is the road course. It is the final round. You don't necessarily have a role to play in terms of the championship narrative, but you can definitely shape it.
I think I'd like to make it if I can. Just with work recently, it's been very sporadic, so it's just going to depend on that. Basically, with the main thing with a lot of races moving forward for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I'd like to make it. It'd be a really good track to run in these cars. I reckon it's not my favourite track, but it's up there for sure. So we'll see what happens.
Indeed, we will. I guess the only other question to ask you with regards to all of that, the first stint here. We were reliably informed that you and Adam Lavis were in the same Discord channel this evening. Was that the reason why there was a bit of gamesmanship, a bit of multi-21 going on, whereby we saw you out of the gas on the main straight and him going on by? Were you trying to help each other along? Is that your role to play in terms of trying to help Adam versus Stephen in the championship fight?
I was just trying to save fuel in a nutshell. Sorry, Adam. But yeah, I was just trying to save fuel, I suppose you could say. I knew fuel would be rather tight based on what Nathan said. He's done a little bit more races in this series than I have this season. But yeah, I think that was the main goal there, to be honest. But yeah, we were in the same Discord. But yeah, I was just sort of prepping for the end of the race, so to speak, yeah.
And also, not knowing where that safety car was going to fall really made it difficult to work out who was going to do what with regards to strategy. But as soon as we got to 31 and we worked out you'd save fuel under the safety car, we knew it was on. Was that when you knew it was on as well, or did you have an idea beforehand that you could avoid doing 3 stops?
I had an idea, yeah, beforehand. I wanted to try and minimise the stops as much as possible. That seems to be, the way to go in general with these IndyCar races, whether it's these ones or, the full-blown ones as well. But yeah, I don't know. From there, yeah, just trying to make 2 stops work was my main goal, I reckon. Yeah, in a nutshell.
All right, very nicely done. Stay with me, mate. It's a Friday night. There's plenty of people in the house. I want to throw the conversation around, and I want to come back to you before too long, just to get an idea of what that work schedule looks like for next week and where else you might pop up. Get your thoughts on the Adelaide circuit too. Bondi, you do the same. I'll come back to you very shortly. Greg Heaney, most positions gained after taking to the grass on more than one occasion. That's very impressive from you. But let's go to Paul Rogers, who got second tonight. Stephen Bull's been good enough to join us as well. Paul, well done, mate. I mean, it was an interesting one. Unfortunately, there was that early incident, and I think as a result of that, there is an invoice coming your way, so that probably drops you to third. But considering that the invoice will be hit there, and that does change the narrative, you must be pinching yourself that it's only one position, considering that you had 15 seconds on Greg Heaney and the rest of the chasing pack. It was only Bondi behind you. The way you guys took off towards the end there, it was both impressive and quick, but also the way you were able to do that and fuel save at the same time. Well played, mate. Great result.
Yeah, thanks. I've got to apologise to Stephen Bull for that. So I was one eye looking at them in front of me and one eye on Bondi behind me, who was showing the nose down the back straight, and I just miscued. So apologies to Stephen for that. But yeah, at the start of that last stint, I got past Bondi and I was just keeping an eye on that margin behind me, and I could see them starting to save fuel. Adam didn't want to let me through, and then I could see Aiden, sorry, really saving fuel. I'm like, I just want to get past to keep that gap. I knew I wasn't in contention for the win, but yeah, I held on, so I got pretty lucky in the end there with that gap.
Indeed. And I guess that probably comes back to the respective issues that everyone would have had regarding saving a bit of juice to get to the end. I'll get that clarification from Greg and Stephen in just a moment. But, I mean, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because we love Barbara. It puts up such great racing, but bugger all people turned up tonight. But that didn't diminish the spectacle. You mentioned the importance of trying to keep an eye on Bondi and Stephen as well. You weren't the only one to trip up at that section of the circuit, mate. Very easy to trip up there. Either you clip the grass or you clip the wrong curb or you miss the braking marker. That is probably the most technical part of the racetrack.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky because you can send it in there pretty hard and still pull it up, but you come out pretty slow. So if you're in a racing scenario, so when I hit Steven, he's trying to square off that corner as much as possible. So he's just a little bit slower, and I was just way too deep. So you're right, it's very easy to make a mistake in general. But man, Barber and that car is a fantastic combination. I had a blast doing laps in that tonight.
And also, I mean, just by the by, ladies and gentlemen, I think the points are going to be updated tomorrow. I'll confirm that before we go to off air. But there's no movement in here at the moment. You were sitting in sixth in the championship coming into this round, mate. Martin Davis was 6 points up the road. Matt Schmidtke was 12 points up the road. Luke Brooker was 18 points up the road. You covered Luke Brooker off tonight by what will be 5 spots in the end. Schmidtke and Davis weren't here. Yep, Davis gets 22 points coming back to him. He goes up to 251. But really, with that result, that should drop you up the order, or prop you up the order a couple of spots, I should say. There's a real chance that you could be in contention for that last spot on the podium going into next week, considering that Luke Brooker, who finished down in 8th tonight, was also only up on 241. So 241 for him and 251 for... So whatever Brooker takes out of tonight, you've got to take that into the equation as well. But you'll take a chunk out of his advantage. You've covered off Matt Schmidtke. And I reckon 22 will be, you'll get more than 22 points for the third, of course. So you've covered off Martin Davis as well. So there's a real chance now, a bit of a pinch me moment maybe, to go to Indianapolis next week and secure a podium finish in this championship.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So I'll have to be doing some quick math on the fly, I'm sure, at Indianapolis as I'm rolling onto the front straight on the oval there. But we'll, yeah, that'll be the goal, P3. So let's see how we go.
Don't worry. You won't be the only one doing quick math there next Friday night. 90 minutes, so I would imagine, based on previous events and previous history, that we'll have a second competition caution there. And given the lap times around there will be around about the 90-second marker, you guys will be doing in excess of 55, somewhere up towards 60 laps next Friday night. You will get dizzy, I'm sure, but probably a good thing that we're on based on what we saw at Texas, probably a good thing we're on the road course and not the oval, yeah?
Yeah, correct. Although if we were on the oval, it would be pretty wild in these cars, I think, with the
Yeah.
super long straights compared to Texas.
You wouldn't have been able to believe your luck when Adam Lavis has had that spin coming onto the main straight. Stephen Bull's just had nowhere to go and had to take to the grass and then go airborne. You wouldn't have been able to believe your luck that you're all of a sudden sitting there second, fighting for the last two spots on the podium with Bondi. At what point did you give up on trying to get by Aiden Luthwaite?
I didn't, to be honest. I kept pressing on Aiden, but yeah, it was pretty unlucky for Adam there. I'm not sure what started it because there was a car between us, but yeah, all I saw was a cloud of smoke, and I just thought, oh, I hope whoever's sideways or backwards is just dead straight so I can go round. So yeah, I got pretty lucky there, but yeah, I just kept pressing Aiden just in case. Yeah, I had Bondi coming up behind me again. And I was catching Aiden in awkward spots, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get another 10-second penalty here. But yeah, we held on.
Indeed, you did, and did well again to withstand the pressure of Bondi as well, although he was in mega fuel save mode too. Just how tight were you for fuel there at the end, please?
So fuel, I coughed as I went through turn 1 after the checkers.
There you go. Everybody was running it bloody tight. We knew that would be the case. What else is on the racing schedule between now and next Friday, please, mate?
So I'll do the last round of GT3 on Monday night. So
yep.
The goal was to get top 5 in that championship too, but that one's a much tougher ask. So I'll give it a crack at Le Mans and then jump back in for Indy next week.
Beautifully done. Hopefully, we'll be chatting to you this time next Friday night, mate. Good luck, go well. Thanks for stopping on by. Well done on all of that. A great result, even with the penalty, to come away with a podium finish. That's a tip of the hat to you. Well done on that. And I'm just having a look through the results from the season so far. Of course, you won last week at Texas. So back-to-back podiums, mate. The back end of this championship going not too badly for you.
Yep, we're marching up the order. So thank you.
Very nicely done. From Paul Rogers to Stephen Bull, got to get the other tail of the tape with regards to that version of events too. Stephen, I don't know. I must be a bad luck charm for you, mate, because every time I'm in here, you seem to end up in the wars. You had a crash in Iowa. I'm pretty sure you got caught up in some garbage at Long Beach as well, in garbage twice tonight. Neither of your own doing, unfortunately. You must be the unluckiest bloke to still be in the championship lead that's ever been in the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club.
No, it's not you. It's all me. It's every time I go league racing, I pull a bit of a Lando Norris, and I love to just bottle it every now and then. It tends to be a bit of a theme for me, but yeah, in that first stint there, you know, we're all fuel saving, hitting that 16 laps or gunning for it, and you know it was all very tight in behind Aiden there, bunched up, and coming into that lap, I was thinking, you know, I got to probably get a move on here and make a pass because I thought I had a bit more pace to go with and still make the 16 laps, but yeah, I was all getting a bit argy-bargy and probably a bit just one lap too late on that decision, and yeah, found myself the wrong way.
Obviously, I mean, we've already heard Paul's version of events, but unfortunately, you zig and zag in an instance with Adam Lavis. Sometimes you zig and it works, sometimes you zag and it works. Unfortunately, you zigged tonight, it didn't work. Absolutely nothing you could have done about that. The only mistake he made all night, but props to you nonetheless for persevering with the broken front end of the car right through to the checkered flag. I mean, obviously, severely hamstrung, but at least you were able to get it home. It looks a lot better than what would have been a ninth on pit road in retirement or whatever the case may be. But just talk to me about the sheer pace you had when you had clear air, because that was an impressive fight back to get back to the point in which you were behind both Aidan Luthwaite and Adam Lavis going into the safety car, and right there to keep them honest on the run home. We were wondering just how fiercely you were putting the pressure on Aidan, because everybody knew that he was going to be running it tight on fuel. You guys all came in, topped up the tank, so you were good to go.
Yeah, so that second stint there, just pretty much had clean air. With the safety car on strategy, I knew it didn't really matter where I was as long as I maintained that track position. I knew that I was giving up on the fuel save and that I was going to take the safety car wherever it came, top up on fuel, and try and put a bit of pressure on Aidan there. I think you'll find Aidan was probably a bit quicker than me if he was full tilt. But knowing that he might have to have a bit of a save there, I just sort of went for the opposite strategy.
Well, this is it. And had it not been for the Adam Lavis incident, it probably would have worked for you, mate. You were right there in the box seat to try and make a late gasp or dash for it. Unfortunately, but 7th and still the championship lead. Adam Lavis is now crunching the points, so we will have those updated very shortly. And I guess it was important to get to the finish line, mate, because you don't have a drop round to fall back on.
No, it's 2 rounds missed so far, so yeah, every point counts.
Thoughts on trying to withstand the pressure that's going to be thrown at you by potential non-championship contenders, as well as Adam Lavis next week when we get to the Brickyard, mate? How are you planning? How are you preparing for that round, the grand finale, the final stop on the tour? What will be in a championship week full of dead rubbers by virtue of the dominance of Andrew Dyson in the entree slot on a Monday, Wednesday and Thursday night. Sam Blacklock wrapping up the supercars already. 4 of our championships are already decided. This one will be a live decider. So how do you go about preparing for what will be the final night of competition as far as our regular championship offerings are concerned for 2025?
Yeah, definitely a bit of think on the strategy there. We've got the 90-minute race, and I believe we're going to have 2 safety cars you mentioned earlier. So that's
if that's the case, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a spanner in the works there. So, all these have all the races so far have sort of come down to you have an A strategy and a B strategy based on where the safety car comes out. And I think this one's going to make it a bit more fluid as to what you do, and it might just be a call when it happens. So a bit of a think about how I handle that, and maybe just try and figure out, where I can finish. It's going to be a safe finishing position, not need to risk anything in a battle if it comes down to that. But we'll see how that goes.
Indeed, we will. The other point is obviously the Australian Open World Nationals are only a couple of weeks away. We'll ditch these cars. We'll go back to the Super Formula Lights. You guys that run the Open World component of our offering this term, you're all eligible for that, is my understanding. I've been lobbying for it. Now that we have had it confirmed that content drop day from iRacing is December 10th, late December 10th, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, I'm now lobbying for Adelaide to just be the track of choice. No spinning the wheel, no debates, no discussions entered into. Just throw you blokes in the deep end in the SFLs on the Adelaide Parkland Street Circuit. Thoughts?
That sounds like heaps of fun. I'm keen.
There we go. I'm glad somebody's embracing the idea. That'll be an absolute ball terror of a race. Sunday, December 14, ladies and gentlemen. Race getting underway 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, 10 o'clock in New Zealand. Everybody else in between, fend for yourselves. I'm not doing it for you. Stephen, the other thing here is you mentioned strategy. An extra 30 minutes. Just how much wear and tear does one go through in that hour? How much, just the physicality, the mentality of it, how much does that, amplify next week, considering it's extra half hour?
Yeah, heaps. It's always a bit of brain fade toward the end of these, 50-minute races. So it's going to be twofold with the extra half hour or so on the end, and then the extra strategy demand. I always think that when I'm thinking about my fuel and my strategy in the car, wipes about a second a lap off my pace. So it's going to be tough.
Indeed, it will be. And then, of course, we talk about the off season. We'll get your thoughts on that in more detail next Friday night. But then we talk about term one next year. What open wheel offering would you like to see, be it in this slot or a Tuesday night or wherever it ends up? What open wheel categories would you like to see as part of our championship offering? Would you be keen to participate in first up next year?
Generally, with me, the faster the better. But I know that when we race the modern F1s and that, they don't tend to create the good racing that we're looking for. I'm loving the super this car at the moment, but IndyCar is probably my favourite, the big boy one.
Yeah, we've had a couple of people say that already, and unsurprisingly, and there's a couple of new tracks coming to town that we'd love to have a play on in those Indy cars. Of course, I did hear in the offing that St. Petersburg's on the way as well to the service sometime next year. So a lot to be excited about there. Well done, mate. Bad luck. You can't buy luck this term, but somehow you're still in the lead of the championship. Good luck next week. We hope it goes well. It's going to be between you and Adam Lavis. It's going to be a showstopper, and we can't wait to see how it plays out.
Cheers, guys.
Greg Keeney, to you.
Evening.
You explored just as much of the bitumen in Birmingham, Alabama as you did the grass, but you still managed to come away with fourth and most positions gained. How the hell did you achieve that, please?
I don't know. I will admit I did have my little moment coming through the last corner. I think I had Paul behind me coming into the chicane on the back straight, and I'm like, all right, fine. And I hadn't used any of my push to pass at that point, so I was just like, all right, on the button we go. And then just trying to carry a little bit too much pace through the last corner and just lost the rear on me, and still managed to get it stopped on the grass before I hit the sand trap. So got it going again and pushed on till the safety car, and then was a fuel save on as a lift and coast at just about every long section of straight, and the last couple of corners were pretty much coasting all the way around. And I'm kind of glad I did, because Ed was giving me a push towards the end there and made it interesting at the back end. So.
Well, I was going to say, we saw just how much clutching was going on from Aidan Luthwaite. By the way, you must be a very proud team boss at the moment, seeing Whiskey Business Racing back on top on a Friday night.
Oh, of course.
Yes, absolutely. He's only been here a couple of weeks, ladies and gentlemen, but yes, pole, race win, qualifying, all that sort of jazz. I think he even snagged the fastest lap in all of that. Did Aidan Luthwaite, so a very good result for him in all of that to steal the limelight away and just dominate the whole lay of the land at Barber Motorsport Park tonight. From your own standpoint, Greg, Friday night's normally your night off, your self-imposed night off this term, so nice to see you out there, because I dread to think what might have been had Whiskey Business not been present tonight. You represented a third of the field.
Yeah, I know. I said that because Jeff Adams was in the server. He dropped out, and somebody else was in there as well. So there was actually going to be potentially 11 cars on track from what I could see before the race clicked over. And then when I saw Jeff had disconnected, I was jokingly said to the boys, it's like, we represent 1/3 of the field. So there was a little bit of a chuckle going around. But look, I only picked up the car about half an hour before the service started, or not even. Yeah. So it's actually the first lap in anger I've turned in this car. And quite enjoyable, actually.
Well, you've just answered my next question, so I I appreciate that. Save us a little bit of time there, Greg. But no, the interesting thing in all of that is some people take to them easy, like new cars they can pick up pretty well, within an instant. They're good, happy days. So it's nice to see that you've enjoyed that, even though you did have a few hairy moments. Just how close to coughing and spluttering across the line were you, please?
Oh, I think I'd have about half a litre of fuel left as I hit the line. So I had enough to get round the corner and at least do a burnout and get rid of the fuel.
You were a lot further away from empty than some of our competitors have already admitted to being. So that's exciting times. I was going to say Friday Night Motorsport this term is just sponsored by Disruptive Labs, but I mean sub-supported tonight because of the presence on the grid by Whiskey Business Racing. Great to see Aiden Luthwaite back home. Great to see Nathan Michael out there as well. A clean run for him, come home in 7th. I mean, he had a couple of skirmishes as well. But the question everybody's asking is, when are you going to get the checkbook out and sign Luke Brooker? He's running the same bloody colours, Greg.
I don't know. I haven't actually spoken to Luke yet. That's the first time I've actually been with him on track, I think. So I don't know. I'll have to have a chat with him and see if he would like to run in our colours. But as I hinted at the other night, where Michael told me to shut up, it's
and me too.
Yeah. He told us both to shut up. So I'm not. And if he's watching the broadcast tonight, I'm not sure if he is or not. I'm not going to keep going because he'll tell me to shut up again. But as I said the other night, watch this space for next season. So
very nicely done. Yes, next season, early January. Keep an eye on that. Aiden Luthwaite, Stephen Ball, Adam Lavis were your top three at one point in this race. Our timing screen has gone back to the start of lap 31, ladies and gentlemen. But just repeating, it was, of course, tonight in all of that. Craig Bond gets elevated to second as a result of the penalty for Paul Rogers, who stays third. The win to Aiden Luthwaite. And yes, it's going to make for very interesting viewing once we have a look at the point standings once they're updated and ready to go. Adam Lavis just tidying them up as we speak. Okay, open table discussion right now. Greg, you weren't here last night. Disappointment for you in the Porsches because now Paul Wilson's got an unassailable lead there. So obviously you're trying to wrap up second and your teammate Dale Atkins third next week when we get to Interlagos for the triple treat. But there's a lot of discussion going on at the moment. Nobody likes change. I can't say anything because I'm the worst for it. But 9921 versus 992.2. Thoughts on that, and whether or not you're a fan of having the ABS and the traction control now part of Porsche Cup racing?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Aiden. I can see the upside to it, and I can also see some downsides to it. I mean, one of the drawbacks, obviously, it's going to change the whole dynamic of that car. The purists, as I will call them, everybody that says no, the Porsche Cup car is to be driven with no ABS and no traction control. I mean, the thing's got bucket loads of traction because of how wide the rear tyres are as it is anyway. But all of the purists out there will probably turn away from it. However, the enthusiasts are probably going to jump in and have a turn and see how it goes, and if they enjoy it, then they'll keep driving it. I myself, I'm going to jump in it, and I'm going to turn my laps in it. Definitely going to have another crack at the season next season as well for the try and take the number one step on the podium. Being that I'm potentially going to have a matching pair of silvers on the back of my chair. I'd really like to have a gold one there, but we shall see. But no, I honestly think that, yes, okay, adding the assist to the car is going to change the dynamic of it. But I honestly think you look at the GT3 field at the moment, and that's got assists in it. And it is so close, particularly in Pro-Am and Am. It is so close at the moment, it's ridiculous. I honestly think it's going to make for some very, very good racing with the assists added. So,
Indeed.
But we'll see how it comes out.
Australian Open World Nationals coming up. We're talking about Adelaide. Like normally there's a vote, but I reckon unanimously it should just be right. Everyone, Adelaide, the traditional grand finale for Formula One for many years, Open Wheel Nationals. It just seems appropriate. But if not, I think I've mentioned this to you already, Greg. I think we had this discussion on Wednesday night. How good would it be to have opening week on the streets of Adelaide next term for the platforms of the GSRC? We have no idea what the makeup of term one is for 2026 just yet. We look at it, we think we've got GT3, GT4 will be there, Porsche Cup Supercars, they'll all be there. They're pretty much guaranteed. But everything else is still up in the air. I just get the feeling that there's going to be a bit of support thrown behind opening week on home turf, and then we'll just put Adelaide to the back burner for 3 months so that we don't overdo it like we have allegedly done to Road America and Mount Panorama in the past.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed for the open wheelers, the open wheel nationals being at Adelaide. I might have to get in the ear of Josh Zuno and say, "Oh, he put some weight behind this," and see how we go. But yeah, I think we did discuss that the other night. Was just park all of the transporters, every single one of them, at Adelaide for week one.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a wait and see. And I mean, we've obviously got a few weeks at this point in time to figure out where we're going for week one across the board. So we'll see what happens.
Bondi, how quick are you buying the Adelaide Parkland circuit when it drops on December 11 our time?
Immediately.
There you go. I knew that would be the case. He'll be sending me Instagram bloody stories from the cockpit. It was just calling into school sick that day. Bondi will be home testing on the Adelaide circuit.
No social media, Zach.
Oh, actually, that's
that's right. He's underage now. He doesn't get social.
That's true.
Am I?
How the hell are we going to communicate? We're going to have to talk to you on Discord and Discord only, or is that actually Discord wouldn't be included in the ban, would it?
No, it isn't. But I'll explain.
Okay.
When I first made my account, I accidentally did 2009, not 2010.
Oh, good boy. So you'll be right. Excellent.
I think.
Lovely. Excellent. Lovely.
Well, now that he's openly admitted it on something that's recorded.
True.
I could
True. My 63-year-old father, God love him, the Cessnock Hospital got his birth certificate wrong. It's always read 5th of the 5th 62, not 5th of the 6th 62. So I know what it's like to get typos and things wrong and all that sort of stuff. And it's really funny because when he needs to lodge legal documentation, he has to do it via the birth certificate date of birth, not the actual date of birth. How can you cock something like that up? I don't get it. But anyway, let's throw the conversation around because Aidan Luthwaite, now that you're back, next week, grand final week, if work allows it, we're also going to line up and have a run. The GT4s are at Le Mans, the GT3s are at Le Mans. We've got a super sprint at the Interlagos circuit in Brazil for the Porsches, whereby Matthew Dench has thrown the carrot dangling around last night and maybe teased a return to the platforms of the GSRC. There's a lot to be excited about in grand final week, especially with regards to those of you that aren't in championship contention, that don't have to worry about that pressure and nervous energy that goes with it. Where are you going to pop up and have a run?
I'd like to maybe give GT3s a go. Not too sure how that's going to work out though with work, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. And probably Friday nights as well, as mentioned before. There'd be something I'd like to do. I reckon Indianapolis, IndyCars essentially. Yeah. Either of those two would be good, but we'll have to wait and see what work allows for. Yeah.
Maybe we need to get a few Toyotas in, Greg. I think there'll be a few extra Toyota 86s tearing around Mount Panorama next week. 24 wasn't a very good turnout for Sebring, but the racing well and truly made up for the lack of turnout, much like tonight. And this is further proof, ladies and gentlemen, that you only need a couple of good battles to make a good motor race when there was only 9 on the grid. But with you, Aidan, Toyotas, Mount Panorama, does that tempt you? Are you tempted by that, I should say?
It's not a bad car to run. I don't get, I suppose, but it's not something I'm overly interested in. I guess something with more power is sort of more up my alley. But yeah, we'll see. I guess.
Paul and Stephen are still here as well. You guys, I mean, you've already spoken about dabbling in the open wheelers. Any interest in some tin top cameos next week?
I'll do GT3, which I've done all season.
That's right.
But
Yep.
yeah, that'll cover me for the week, I think.
That's it. Yep.
Might have a lob in the GT4, but maybe.
It's so interesting. We're going into a grand final week where 5 titles have already been decided. Paul Wilson's got the open split done in the Porsches. Blacklock's got the elite split done in the supercars. We've mentioned the dominance of Andrew Dyson, but there's still so much to play for next week. Bondi, when do we see you next week, please?
I think I'm here every day. I think.
How lucky we are. That'll be fantastic.
Hint of sarcasm there, I think. Bondi.
I know.
Well, I was waiting for someone to actually suggest that I might have been. I might have been completely being sincere and serious, and I was. That's okay. If you think I'm being sarcastic, go for it. I was waiting for someone to jump in.
Never been
behind,
sarcastic.
so-
The most serious and sincere person you've ever come across, Joe. Absolutely. But anyway, Bondi, no, it'll be good to see you. Obviously, 45 minutes around the mountain will be a good test. Lamar is legendary. So we've got 2 great circuits to get us underway for grand final week. I know we're only here 4 nights. Dan Yeaman will be here with Matt Schmidtke Wednesday night. Trans Am's a dead rubber, but again, a doubleheader at Phillip Island. That should hopefully, Greg, for the supercars at least, warrant a few more bums on seats and in the cockpit and on the grid.
Yeah, he's hoping. And I did mention in the Discord thread earlier the week that it is actually going to be dry, and being at the island. So I've given the boys enough wet running this season. I know Adam made a comment the other night when he was in there. It's like the supercars are turning into just wet weather running. It's like, well, it's only been a couple of races. I think we've only had 2 of the 9 we've had so far, or rounds, I should say, that have actually had water in it.
And Sandown's still, going through a drought because the rain that you actually forecast for there didn't even bloody arrive. So
yeah. So, well, it certainly turned up at Interlagos.
What?
But
what?
Yeah, but no. So yeah, the island dry super sprint round. Yeah, with any luck, we end up with a fairly sizable grid. I'd be happy if we had more than 35, 36 cars on the track. So we'll see what happens.
39 weeks down, gentlemen. 1 to go. That's all it comes down to, really. Yes, there'll be some Open World Nationals prep coming up. I know because, and this is the interesting thing, Greg, right? We wear our heart on our sleeve as the GSRC, obviously, but because there's a few, there's a bit of cross-pollination going on at the moment. There's a few guys here that dabble there in SRW and FDL, et cetera. But as a result of that, we might go in as the underdogs on Sunday, December 14, but we'll give it our best shake.
Oh, for sure. But I think we did go in as the underdogs last time, didn't we? And we still came out on top.
In terms of the overall points, yeah, absolutely. But we didn't get the outright checkered flag, the bragging rights, the individual honours went to a different club, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's for the individual. But we came out on top for the win with the points. So that counts.
And the funniest thing about that is that was introduced by our good friends at SRW in the hope that it would help them get across the line of the bragging rights. They're still winless. They're still winless. So we'll wait and see what changes when we get to the venue
Adelaide
of
Street
choice.
Circuit.
Probably the Adelaide Street Circuit on, well, that's what we're lobbying for on Sunday, December 14. Do make a note of that, folks. It will be Sunday, December 14. First night of the Big Bash, but and immediately after the WBBL final the night before. But not the usual Wednesday night slot because running it too close to Christmas and a few other permutations, holidays, work commitments, Christmas functions, etc. Just it's easier to go and bury it there on the Sunday night, run it, say goodbye for the year, and have at least 5 weeks off. We'll have already had 1 full week off, but that'll be just a rare cameo. Jot back in, make sure the place is still upright, and then get stuck into proper holidays. So with all of that, gentlemen, anything else left to add? Does Max pounce over the top of McLaren this weekend? Does Lando get it locked and signed, sealed and delivered? Can Oscar muster up something in the way of a minor miracle? What are your thoughts?
I'd like to see at least a somewhat of a comeback from Oscar. If he takes the advice from Max that was given apparently the other day, which is not suitable for on air repeating it, is probably a good thing that he takes that advice on board, and tells the McLaren bosses or whoever it is in charge of switching them around or whatever it is to take a short walk off.
Take a running jump. Yep.
Yeah, a run and jump, and once they think they've done it enough, keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a story to that, and I'll come back to it when we get off air, actually, for the very same reason. The lack of suitable language attached to it. But the other thing I will say is, with regards to all of that, you can only hope that the championship isn't won by somebody as a result of a mechanical failure for somebody else or a crash for somebody else. Let's hope it's done on the track in racing in fair and equal terms. And let's hope McLaren have their bloody cars meeting the requirements for scrutineering post-race. We don't need another disqualification like what we saw last week. Gentlemen, if there's nothing else to add, I'm going to let you all go at this point in time. Well done. Great night.
Thanks, gents.
Cheers, guys.
Well done, Aidan Luthwaite. Well done, Paul Rogers. Well done, Craig Bond. Well done, Stephen Bull. Well done, Greg Heaney. I get the feeling Bondi will stick around, so too Heaney. But well done, gentlemen. That's been great fun, as per usual. Trucker, I mean, we walk into the night. It's amazing, isn't it? We walk into the night thinking, yep, only a week to go. We're feeling a little bit tired and jaded. We're, limping our way through to the end. We're looking at the first weekend of holidays and thinking how good's sleep going to be. But then all of a sudden, the blood's pumping, the adrenaline's going because they put on a show as good as that. And they've been doing it all season. Friday night has really been show-stop, must-watch entertainment.
Yeah, look, it has. I think, the numbers waned, but generally when you have a new car like this, the seasons always start strong. The car isn't for, some guys it works, some guys it doesn't work for them, and they fall away. But, we've got, some of the best guys that we've had on open wheelers Friday nights over the past couple of seasons. We're all battling out there at the, in the last 10 laps after the safety car. So it's probably another one of the great finishes. Unlucky that the incident there with Mav with a couple to go, and with him and Stephen Bull getting caught up together. But that's racing. That's just how it goes sometimes. So I'm certainly looking forward to where we end up next week. I think that's going to be it's going to be an interesting one around the Indy Road Course, which I don't think, we've had a lot of Indy, like the main track, like the main oval, but I don't know that we've used the road course for a Friday night grand final. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think we may have done, but we go back through the years to actually work out when that was. And I think I'm not sure if it was a term 4, but it might have been a term 2 or a term 3, because when Nick Vodiatis, our good friend, our esteemed Let's Never Go to Sebring colleague, he was he was adamant that if we had 2 IndyCar series in a season, and one at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and then go to the road course for the second one. So I'm pretty sure we've done it before, but it has been a while. Championship points are there on your screen, folks. They're updated now before I can take us around the grounds and get us out of here. Well done to Stephen Bull. He holds onto a 29-point lead tonight. He extends it by a couple over Adam Lavis. It's 29. It's a tough ask for Mav going into next week, but we wish him the best of luck with the assignment at hand. Luke Brooker, 278. He's moved up 2 spots tonight. Paul Rogers up 4, 272, only 6 behind Brooker now. And on the cusp of the top 3, Davis, Schmidtke, Robbo, Ray Harner, Bondi up into 9th, and that could become 8th next week. Nathan Michael rounds out the top 10. Fair spread, what's that, 155 points. Again, math's not my strong point, apologies. 155 points covering the top 10. Nathan Michael being the 10th of those at this point in time. I was going to say maybe if they're already sick of wet weather truck, he might throw the wet weather at them for the Pro 2 trucks tomorrow night on Mount Panorama and the Mountain Men. Could you imagine the fun they'd have there?
I couldn't handle it.
No, absolutely not.
Last time we tried rain, it was monsoon.
Absolutely.
That was round 1. There was some unhappy customers, and I don't blame them. It wasn't what I ordered, but it was what we got.
Yeah, how disappointing is it always when, and that's see, this is the thing, right? People go and do online grocery shopping, click and collect and all that sort of stuff, and then get home and they've not got what they ordered. That's exactly why I'm one of the old school people that still goes in and sits through the, brain-numbing, tireless, tedious sort of exercise and task that is doing the weekly shop. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're done as far as week 9 of term 4 is concerned. But it sets us up beautifully for a monumental grand final week. If you are interested tomorrow night, Mountain Men kicks us off as far as the weekend is concerned and finishes off week 9 in its entirety. There it is on your screen. We've spun the wheel. It's the Pro 2 light trucks. It's Mount Panorama. It's 32 laps. It's 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time. So if you've got nothing on this weekend, you're not going to watch the Supercars or the Formula 1, get stuck into that. Then that takes us to grand final week. Please make note of the following start times earlier on both Monday and Thursday night. Finishes later, right across the board. We're going deep into the night here next week, and we're looking forward to it immensely on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. So we started off, as I said earlier, Mount Panorama Bathurst, the grand finale of the Waste Options GR86 Challenge, but it's a dead rubber. The battle for the minor placings is on, but first is locked, signed, sealed and delivered in the favour of Andrew Dyson and DPR Racing, 7:45 Eastern Daylight Time, 45 minutes around there. Actually, no. That is, Trucker, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. We're starting 15 minutes early because it is a 45-minute race there. I'm just getting into the Anchorman mode at the moment. I'm reading Joe's script. No, we're going to Mount Panorama for 45 minutes, and that is 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Adam Lavis and I on air a couple of minutes before that. 45 minutes, 2 compulsory pit stops, I think, if I read it correctly. Get in there. Get amongst it. It'll be a great way to start grand final week. The Toyota is one of the great support categories of Australian motorsport on the centre of the biggest stage, kick-starting grand final week. And because we don't have a championship up for grabs anymore, it's all the minor placings. The gloves will be off. You better bloody well believe it. Pro racing follows in the GT3 series, also with thanks to Waste Options from the circuit to the south. Same start time, longer race, 90 minutes the journey, 8:45 Eastern Daylight Time. Hope you can join us for that. That then takes us to Tuesday night motorsport, which will, of course, be the GSRC Rallycross. That's coming up from Crandon International Raceway. Heat racing there, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Then on to the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, the 2025 incarnation for the Pro 2 truck grand finale. So another chance to run the Pro 2 trucks, this time the big boppers, not the light equivalent. That'll be 9:20 Eastern Daylight Time, 3 sprint races there. Wednesday night, Zach Caban and Dan Yeaman have been alternating on Wednesday nights so far in the last 6 weeks, but thankfully Yeaman's here, and rightly so, although I got all the glory because I got to call championship night. He comes back to cover the dead rubber. But the dev split of the supercars is up for grabs. Johnny Bannock up against Adam Lavis and a couple of others there, so they're still fighting it out in the dev split. Phillip Island, the venue across the board. 4 races on the program. You've got the 45-minute race first up for the Trans Ams from 7:45 Eastern Daylight Time. The boys are with you from 7:40. Matt Schmidtke, Dan Yeaman. They've done a great job throughout the course of the season. It's been nice to jump in and join Schmidtke on a Wednesday night occasionally when opportunity has been presented to me, and it's necessitated me to jump in the circumstances to jump in and cover for Dan Yeaman. So looking forward to him being back for the grand finale. from the Trans Ams at 7:45. There'll be a little bit of a gap. Super sprint for the supercars, kickstarting 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for race 1. Races 2 and 3 to follow that. All in one serve of the Elite and the Dev, and 3 races to bring us home there at the gateway to hypothermia. Disruptive Labs GT4, also already locked, signed, sealed and delivered to Andrew Dyson, as is the Trans Am. Thursday night, we're off to the Circuit de la Sarthe, the 24 Hours of Le Mans venue in the south of France. That will be 60 minutes, the journey there. So as a result, again, 7:25 Eastern, we're on air. 7:30 race start, Eastern Daylight Time, 4:30 on the West Coast. Hope you can join us for that. Then immediately on to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache in Interlagos, Brazil, Sao Paulo, the venue for the final round of the Pantech Industries Porsche Cup. Dead square. You wouldn't fair dinkum read it, would you? The fact that the 2 Right Sim Racing entries, Benny Pedersen, Hayden Smith, they are locked on a 418 points apiece. Winner takes all Thursday night. Hope you can join us for that. We're going to have to bring our own A-game there, Trucker, calling all the action of what is going to be the grand final of all grand finals next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 11 p.m. in New Zealand, and 6 p.m. on the West Coast. 3 sprint races there as well, same format as the supercars, and we'll go into the post-race show on the back end of that. We'll talk to
the swan song for the current Porsche Cup car too.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely. So it's a big Thursday night for a whole different bunch of reasons, and looking forward to it. Skip and slides rightly off to Mount Panorama Bathurst next Friday night. 2 sprint races there, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Now, we're not broadcasting that one because there's no way in hell that Joe Baldwin's going to give up the opportunity to run the Skippies around Bathurst.
Yeah, so right. My 2 favourite things on iRacing, the Skip Barber and Mount Panorama.
Exactly.
Good luck getting me to broadcast it.
Let's hope that it's actually a good run for you, a solid run, an enjoyable run for you, because it'll set the tone for what's to come, and that will be the grand finale, the Disruptive Labs Indy NXT Series. That is from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course, 69 laps or 95 minutes, whichever comes first. So, yeah, it's a very long night in the cockpit next Friday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be with you a few minutes before that because we'll have a Mountain Men wheel spin to do and a couple of other boxes to tick. Well done to the Matildas, 5-0. Brisbane Roar, 1-0 over Melbourne victory. Shame about the cricket. No result in either match at the Adelaide Oval, despite their best efforts to get the 5-over match played between the Thunder and the Strikers. There's the giant spider, so synonymous with the real estate, the background, the scenic shots of Birmingham's Barber Motorsport Park in Alabama. GSRC merch.myshopify.com. That website is now live. It's stacked with new merch. Check out the new range. Purchase some for your stocking stuffers for Christmas. Tell your friends, tell your family what we're all about, what we do, why we're here, when we're here, and where they can tune in and watch us. That is gsrcmerch.myshopify.com or merch.tgsrci.com. If you want any more information with regards to the club, race.tgsrci.com is where you go to get the calendar, the points tables, all that sort of relevant information. Also, you can find out how to sign up and get involved in everything that we do here. And on that subject, we wouldn't be able to do it without the great support of the people scrolling across the top and bottom of your screen. Disruptive Labs, Sprite and Cider. Try their new raspberry lemonade flavouring, ladies and gentlemen. The new drop, their new offering is raspberry lemonade. Get amongst that. I think it was going for $85 a carton for Black Friday, plus the $10 shipping to anyone on the mainland, $5 in Tassie. Flash graphics, Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, merch.tgsrci.com, Trophy AI and Pantech Industries. A big thanks to all of those great people that have been great supporters of our club across the term, across the year, across a number of different seasons here across Facebook and YouTube. Friday Night Motorsport done and dusted. We remind you of what is an enormous weekend, and that's 2 Zach weeks in the space of 3, by the way, Trucker. I've been here for 4 nights this week. I was here for 4 nights a couple of weeks ago covering for Yeoman, so I'm just racking up some overtime at the right time of the year because unfortunately, I don't qualify for annual leave payments from the GSRC through December and January, so I've got to rack up my Christmas funds now so that I can not go broke and be caught singing from the suburb between now and when we, of course, get back underway, which I dare say will be January 19. But there's the lay of the land for the weekend, folks. this final weekend of November and this final weekend of spring. What a weekend it promises to be. I know a lot of people will be tuning into what's going on in Adelaide. The sprint for the Qatar Formula One Grand Prix is 1 a.m. on Sunday morning, qualifying at 5 a.m., race Monday morning at 3 a.m., all those times Eastern Daylight Time. Australian PGA Golf continues across the weekend. The WBBL, hopefully they'll get some games in tomorrow if the weather wants to play fair. The World Supercross Championships, the bikes, they're on the Gold Coast tomorrow night.
OzX.
So get amongst that. Yeah, OzX, looking forward to that immensely. Also, plenty of English Premier League coming up. The AFLW Grand Final, good luck to the Brisbane Lions, of course, tomorrow night against North Melbourne. We've mentioned Adelaide already. And that's it. There's not much else to pick apart there. The second Matildas match up against the New Zealanders is not until Tuesday night. So we'll, of course, tell you or remind you about that on Monday night. Well, that's a lot to rip and tear through. But we've done it. Week 9, done. Week 39, done. 1 to go. It'll be the 40th week of competition for the year, the 10th of the term, the 4th term of the season. We can't wait to have your company. Make note, early start, afternoon tea in Western Australia. 4:30 over on the West Coast, 7:30 on the East Coast, except for these idiots up here in the Sunshine State, alleged Sunshine State, given, actually, they should call it the Stormy State. It's been a ridiculous start to the storm season up here. And, of course, it'll be 9:30 on the land of the long white cloud over there in New Zealand when we get grand final week underway. That is Monday night. It's a 15-minute, 20-minute earlier start than usual, but all for the greater good. Toyotas from Mount Panorama, GT3s from Lemoore, and all 3 GT3 championships still very much on the line, ladies and gentlemen. All of them up for grabs, all of them are live deciders. It's been a while since we've been able to say that. Hope you enjoyed it. Another IndyCar NXT Classic on behalf of Joe Baldwin and all the crew here. Well done to Aidan Looseweight. Well done to Bondi up on second spot there. Good recovery from Stephen Bull despite 2 incidents. He leads the championship going into the season decider. We look forward to your company for that and a whole lot more next week as we bring the curtain down on this 6th year of the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and our 23rd season of racing. Until then, on behalf of Joe Baldwin, all the crew here, I'm Zach Caban. However you're spending your weekend, ladies and gentlemen, we hope it's a good one. Either get out and support some sport happening in your neck of the woods, or crack open a coldie and kick back on the lounge and enjoy it from the comfort of the lounge room and watch it on the telly. That's usually sometimes the better option, the cheaper option as well. And also from a spectacle standpoint, the view standpoint, it's usually better than going to street circuits when you can only see them for about 5 seconds a lap. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're out of here. Hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to your company Monday to get grand final week underway. I'm Zach Caban. Have a great evening and a great weekend, everybody. Bye for now.
Clear.
Bloody hell! Fireworks are plenty in the IndyCars again. I love that series. That I tell you what, I was annoyed when Formula V got cut from the schedule, but these fuckers have really well and truly made up for it. Bloody hell.
Absolutely. That as I said during the thing there, like it's not always about quantity, quality.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes if you don't have the quantity, you don't have the quality. You have a shit show, you have a boring, dull sort of affair where falling asleep at the desk. Not with these blokes.
That was a good track for it too. That was it was super hard to pass, but you could always have a go at it. You know, so it was always every lap was trying to set something up. It was good fun.
I wonder if we'd get more if we swap GT4s and Indy next round.
Oh, what? Put these guys at 7:30 on Thursday night, you reckon?
Or sometime in more of a main slot, main night sort of thing.
We had that last season with the Super Formula Lights. We had it for like a year straight. I think, the guys are just trying to mix it up. Hang on a sec, guys.
You're right, Joe.
Could someone fill me in on the Nationals? Because I basically know nothing about it.
No, it hasn't been decided yet, I don't think. I think what they're trying to do, I was chatting to Zach Pryor, is there is a chance that it may actually go to Adelaide.
Yes. There we go.
Like I mean for like getting involved. Like, is there anything I need to do?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Trucker, but the qualification. So normally there's an open wheel series, right? That we run. When it was Super Formula Light, that was easy. Whoever was running Super Formula Light, you had to run a certain number of rounds. You had to finish with a certain number of places in the championship, and that was automatic qualification. But we don't have Super Formula Light this time round. This is the only open wheel series. So I think Josh and I will make contact with you guys next week. But I reckon because you guys are the top 10 of the series, and you've met the criteria with the amount of rounds that you've participated in, you'll be invited to be selected as our representatives for December 14, which is Sunday, 2 weeks from this one, fortnight Sunday, to go out there and race the SFL up against the boys from FDL. And I couldn't think of FDL last night. I was thinking of other F words, but I couldn't think of the acronym for FDL. Fuck me. And then fucking SRW, Sim Racing World. So we're up against those guys.
Yeah, easy. I normally, sleep on all these esports things, and I find out about them when I see the broadcast. Like, I should have done that.
You and me both, mate. I did not know jack shit about the sim racing community until 5.5 years ago when I got roped in by these blokes, and I haven't weaned off the drug since.
It's great, isn't it?
I know, isn't it just?
Yeah, I've only been involved. I think January 9th, 2013 was when I joined iRacing.
Bloody hell! Coming up 13-year anniversary, Trucker.
Yeah, mate.
Hell.
Yeah.
That's
My
awesome.
40th birthday, I bought myself a PC and a G29 and a 24-inch monitor.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? So to fill you in, and Bondi and Steve as well. So my PC here, it's getting put out to pasture next week. I told Trucker this earlier, boys, but the old HP, I bought that in 2019, May 2019, lead up to the Indy 500, or maybe the week after the Indy 500, one either side. And I went to Harvey Norman, brought a HP. I just said, I just need a stock standard PC computer in which I can do my work on from home. Had no idea that I would be pushing and punishing it through the workload that would be 3-4 nights a week, sometimes the GSRC plus Real Sim Racing Australia plus ASRG over the course of 6.5 or 5.5 years. Because when I first got this PC, sim racing wasn't part of my world, so I didn't get the adequate required setup to do what I do with the equipment and the budget that I had at the time. So this time around, I've gone and decided, no, fuck it. Sim racing's still part of my world. There's no reason that's going to change anytime soon. People are still picking up the phone. So if we're going to get a PC, let's do it right, do it once, do it well. And this one gets put out to pasture, and wheeling in its place is a fucking $2,200 machine that I paid for today. It'll have plenty of storage, plenty of slots, plenty of space, plenty of all that. But now all I've got to decide on, boys, is monitors and, mounts and arms and all that sort of stuff to keep the monitors upright. And it's going to probably be a 4-screen setup, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. Who would have thought 4.5, like this computer was not cut out and should not have been put through its paces the way that it has been. No wonder it's crying foul and begging for mercy. Yeah, it's funny how when your world changes, obviously Joe turns 40. 40 is usually, universally around about